Alrighty, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So, this is gonna be kind of impromptu. I didn't plan this, but for those of you that are gonna watch this later or whatever, I just went live, so I don't expect a lot of people to join in. But this is a kind of a funny thing because Apostate Prophet and Mohammed Hijab have been having this drama going on, along with Slim Al Bahr and Adam Saleh, and they are like going back and forth. And apparently, they were able to get Apostate Prophet to call in to the show or the podcast, and there's this whole dialogue that happened between Mohammed Hijab and the Apostate Prophet. So I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go watch it. I'm just gonna go watch it right now. We're gonna do it live, and I'm gonna show the screen because I haven't seen all of it yet. I know the video got released, but I haven't seen it. So let me just go ahead and share the audio here as well too. So let me go ahead and check out the video. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, everybody. Let me just see here. Can you guys see the screen? Is this good? Is it good? No, is that small? Yeah, that's good, right? Okay. Which one's better? This one's better? Oh no, wait. This one's better, or this one's better? Which one? Which one's better? Should I do this one? Let's do this one. I think this is good. All right. Let's go and go for the play. Let's say here. All right. So here's.
And on your Twitter, like
is this worse? Is this worse than telling people that they should be put to death?
This guy. No, we don't condone it. Look, you're childish.
And you're complaining about insulting, and then you're doing something with insulting.
Is this worse?
That doesn't hurt us, man.
See that you're just being disrespectful.
What about
the
worse than telling people that they should be put to
it
death?
doesn't affect.
Not a bad intro.
Socially profile.
I like it. I like the intro.
Socially profile when he.
I like the intro. Calm down, Sahih. Look, don't worry about it. We'll deal with you later. This is not your hour.
An ex-Muslim. So are you an ex-Muslim?
Yeah, ex-Muslim.
Ex-Muslim. Hold on, wait. You're the guy that you're the guy that
right.
you were. I've seen it the other day. You were watching that other dude. I don't know, the David guy who was like eating the Quran or something.
That's you. You're watching. You watch him eat the Quran.
Yeah. I was there.
And you were like, you did a video or something ripping up the Quran and stuff. Don't you
Wow,
think,
man, that's dirty, man.
Yeah, don't you think that there's a different way to like share your opinions and because share your ideas instead of like, disrespecting the Quran and ripping it and eating it and acting like complete hooligans?
Of course, I think there's a different way to represent these things. I mean, we could talk about what my motives are and what ex-Muslim motives are. But of course, there is a different way to express your opinions. And to be very honest, I don't think there is any point in ripping up a Quran. I think it's a completely unnecessary.
So why did you do that?
It seemed like you were egging it on because like I understand you're ex-Muslim and you have your own faith. At the end of the day, everybody Muslims have their own faith. At the end of the day, but like it seems like you have like this vendetta against Muslims.
No,
you're an ex-Muslim, but you represent. I'm an ex-Muslim. The reason it's an ex is like it should be in the past. Am I right? Like I don't know. Like
no, I did that for a very
good point.
For a very specific reason. When I ripped up the Quran on that show, for example, I explained very clearly why I was ripping up the Quran as I was doing it. So if people actually want to go there and see,
but what's the explanation to like ripping the Quran? Like tell us here instead of going on to your like tell us here.
Assalamu alaikum, Fareed.
What's the point?
I will explain it to you. Just let me speak. I will explain it to you.
Yeah.
So I am doing my ex-Muslim work, right? And there is a lot of back and forth between me and Muslims, and it's all going well as it maybe should. I don't know. But recently, between me and Mohammed Hijab and Ali Dawa, there has been a lot of
but this is not even about sorry to cut you. This is not about Mohammed Hijab, Ali Dawa, we don't even care about them. We're not defending them at all. We're defending Islam and the Quran.
I know.
You ripping up the Quran. It's like what's your defense? You're mentioning them. Muhammad and Hijab and Ali Dawa have nothing to do with you ripping the Quran. You're disrespecting
now
billions. That's what I'm trying to say. You disrespect.
Okay, let me talk, but it has to do with this. The whole protest.
So no, it doesn't have to do it.
Ripping up.
They have nothing to
protest. It wasn't
an act of protest to rip up.
Protest? What? You know how much people you're offending? You're offending so many people for no reason.
Did you see like Slim right here? Like he wants to reach out to the screen and shake him. Like, what are you talking about?
Do you believe about like right and wrong as an ex-Muslim? Like, do you believe in right and wrong?
Of course I do. But come on.
Do you think that what you did was right?
I came here so we can exchange.
Yeah, we're just asking.
I'm asking you a question. Like, do you think what you did was right though? Like, do you think that's right?
I think it was right. Yes.
You think ripping up the Quran? So
that's childish.
Just because you disagree with a certain group of people, you're gonna
don't believe in Islam is right.
No, we do not. We do not condone of killing. We do not.
Do you think
sending
do you think sending veiled rape threats?
No, if anyone changes their religion or anything, we don't condone killing or nothing.
Islamically, if you kill one person, it's like you killed all humanity. That's how precious a life is in Islam.
But you are aware
that, right?
that according to Islam, as someone who leaves Islam and who openly says that he left Islam is supposed to be put to death. This is according to all Islamic jurisdictions.
No, we do not condone of killing anyone. You must have had.
Wait, you know what's funny? By the way, I don't want to do a lot of commentary on this because I want to watch the video. But what's funny is that he's speaking so confidently, like, "Oh yeah, if you leave Islam, you must be put to death," as if he understand the different fiqh rulings and the different circumstances around this. I mean, this is embarrassing. When is this guy going to realize you have to stop talking about Islam? You've embarrassed yourself over and over again. And this is like becoming pathetic. Like, do you see how quickly he was able to jump on a podcast of people just to, is this not even more of an indication that he wants like attention? Like, I mean, he thought he was going to come onto a show with people who are kind of, general laymen like myself about Islam, and then, try to bully them. And right now he's just getting bullied. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
Had a misunderstanding. Hold on. When you were Muslim, I feel like you must have had a misunderstanding. No. I feel like, and it's got to the point where you're ripping the.
Have you not recently made a response video to me? And Ali Dawa even made a response video in which Ali Dawa.
This isn't about Ali Dawa or Mohammed Hijab. This isn't about them. It seems like it has nothing. I don't care about Ali Dawa. I don't care about Mohammed Hijab. I'm talking about you. Why are you ripping up the Quran and you thinking it's right? Why are you ripping up and you're eating the Quran? You look like a child.
And the fact that you're trying to back it up as it's like some protest, like come on, that's a petty excuse, my friend.
You're disrespecting.
I don't know if I should call you my friend.
Ali Dawa recently made a video in which
Ali Dawa, Mohammed Hijab, Ali Dawa, Mohammed. You love them.
Hold on. Do you see how many times he keeps mentioning Ali Dawa, Mohammed Hijab, Ali Dawa? It's true. Like, this guy is obsessed. Like, I think he's like just genuinely in love with them. I don't know what's going on here. Good point by Adam. Good point.
Did I deserve?
No, we do not condone. We do not. None of us condone.
So you do
death
not
or anything.
People should be put to
we
death
do not.
Believing
we do not condone.
No, we don't. Death, man.
We don't. I feel bad.
Human life is all of humanity.
You must have looked that up. You must have misunderstood.
Then why did you put Allahu Akbar under Ali Dawa's video?
Allahu Akbar means God is greatest. Allahu Akbar means
video.
Allahu Akbar. If you were,
I should be killed.
Allahu Akbar.
Wait, did you just hear this dumb idiot? What is wrong? Apostate prophet just said if you say Allahu Akbar, it means that you want to be killed. What? I mean, so every time Muslims say Allahu Akbar in the prayer, it means we're about to kill somebody? Is that what he's trying to say? That every time you say Allahu Akbar, we're about to kill somebody? I mean, this is the guy that supposedly went to a madrasa. He supposedly went and understood Islam very well and came from a very practicing household. What kind of idiocy is this? I mean, what? Anyways, let's continue.
Means God is the greatest. It means God is the greatest. Did you forget that? Or no,
it depends, like the way you take it. Like Allah Akbar probably to you means some other crazy things because you probably see things in the media, and that's affecting your small brain. But you have to understand that, like, it means if you look it up, it's called God.
I don't think both of you are above intelligent people. I could now sit
here. Oh wow! Stop playing. You said, but I don't think you're intelligent either. You rip Qur'ans for protests.
I could sit here and call.
There's so many different ways to protest.
I have a question though. I have a question, but it's not about Ali Dawa. It's not about Mohammed Hijab. This
is very childish. I didn't come here to insult you, and I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not insulting you. We're trying to understand you. Like I'm very confused.
You're not letting me speak for 5 seconds.
Speak. I want to hear.
You're interrupting me. Whatever I said,
I never said Apus. I never said Apus or nothing. I never said nothing.
You typed it here on the screen. You typed Apus right here on the screen.
I thought that was I don't know why.
I thought your name was Apus too,
call
bro.
yourself a prophet. But yeah. So as I was saying, I have a question. Why, like, why is it when someone leaves Islam, they end up putting like, everywhere in their bios and everywhere, like, oh, ex-Muslim. They always, it's like Islam is living rent free in their heads. Like, what's the whole point of that?
Explain that.
Yes, I will let you explain that.
How about this? Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2
2
minutes.
minutes.
And I will explain it to you. Okay.
You're gonna have 2 minutes for what?
I will explain to you why an ex-Muslim like me, for example, or other ex-Muslims speak out against Islam and put it on their bios. I will explain it to you. Do you give me 2 minutes and promise me not to interrupt?
You need 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
You look at your phone. You can't answer it from your heart.
Fine,
Can you answer it from your soul? You need a
No,
script.
I'm setting a timer. Can you
A
give
timer.
me 2 minutes? Can you give me 2 minutes to explain why?
Okay, a minute, timer.
You know what? How about this? I know you kind of you offered to be on our podcast and stuff like that, and you were, I don't know, I feel like in a way, I feel like you know that we're not really knowledgeable. You say that, oh, you're not knowledgeable about Islam. You shouldn't be saying that at all. You know what I'm saying? We still, like, we're Muslim at the end of the day, but there's more scholars, there's Islam scholars, there's people who know, who are very knowledgeable. They go to school for it and they know. So we have a friend of ours who's gonna come and
I think I know that friend
to all of us, and who's more knowledgeable about this. So come on in.
He's very educated, so like, you know what I'm saying? We can hold it down.
I think we all know who that friend is.
He's a very good friend of ours.
who's knowledgeable and would know, like,
I want him to like be able to like
who is he going to join?
Exchange like words with you as well.
Did you hear Apus? He sounds like an owl right now. Like, who's coming?
He's gonna come in.
Yo. Where's he at? Where's he at? What? In the meantime, if you want to talk about your 2 minute timer thing,
okay,
here's a chance. Here's a chance while he comes in.
So you have asked me why people who leave Islam are so obsessed with Islam and why they make it so open that they have left Islam and why they talk about Islam. Let me tell you this: there are many ex-Muslims in the world, including me. I grew up with Islam. I was extremely religious when I was a.
Unmute him. Unmute him. Unmute. Ask unmute. No, not him.
Oh, wait a minute.
Go. No, ask the bottom. Yeah, that one. Ask unmute.
So go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
I was extremely religious when I was a Muslim. I believed in Islam very firmly. I was raised.
Until when?
What's your nationality, by the way? I just want to know your nationality.
Turkish. I was raised with it. My parents are very religious. I was in very religious environments, and after leaving Islam, like many other Muslims, like many other ex-Muslims, I was basically shunned, basically rejected by society.
My situation he was shunned.
I live in America freely.
Guys.
I have
no.
I've come here. I'm free and I can do and say whatever I want. But it's not about me. It's about so many other people. In over 12 countries, it is officially punishable by.
Did you just catch that? He's like, oh, woe to me! I was shunned. I was kicked out. But it's not about me. It's not about. But I'm crying about being shunned. But it's not about me. It's about other Muslims. What are you talking about, dude? What a loser! What a loser!
Death to leave Islam, and leaving Islam is today in 2020 officially punishable by death. In many other countries, it is forbidden. In many other countries, it's a social taboo. People persecute and punish their kids and their loved ones, their known ones, for leaving Islam. So people live under persecution if they leave Islam. So your entire life is affected by Islam. And afterwards, if you decide not to believe in it, just because you don't believe in it, you are also followed and persecuted for that. So it is completely normal that somebody who leaves Islam, whose entire life was defined by the fears of Islam and by the introductions of Islam, also
we have our friend here who's more I feel like he's way more.
I will not talk to Mohammed Hijab. Mohammed Hijab.
He's really.
My wife.
He's really not. Oh no! You've disrespected, bro. You've disrespected.
No,
the Quran. You ripped up the Quran. The disrespect, and then you talk about
Hijab is a scum.
Relax. It's not about Mohammed Hijab. No, it's not about him. It's not about that.
Calm down.
I have made it scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
You are scared.
Wait, did you see how erratic he just became? He's like, oh, you're scared. I mean, he went crazy. Look at him. It's like he saw a ghost. And you know what? You know what's crazy? Off the bat, just here really quickly, I just noticed that like Mohammed Hijab came in all casually. Like his hand is on the sofa, like he's in the majlis, like he's like hanging out, like no sweat. And here's Apus just going crazy. Oh, Mohammed Hijab is here. Oh, this is great. This is great comedy. Listen, Sahi, look, Sahi, Habibi, Isbar, relax, don't worry, Sahi, look, I told you, when I go live on Sunday, you can call and try to prove that pagan doctrine to me, okay? You can just, listen, no problem. How about this? If you don't prove to me the pagan doctrine on Sunday, I will break a cross on the camera, okay? I will show you the path of Abraham, and I will break the idols on a Sunday, okay? Sahi, look, good deal? But wait your turn, Habibi, don't worry, you're being too excited. This is about the video here, not you. Relax. Don't be so excited. Mike, let's just continue here.
It seems like you're running.
I made a debate.
I can't hear any of you. Can you unmute?
I made a debate.
I can't hear any of you.
He can't hear us. He can't hear any of us. He can't hear any of us.
Oh,
I made a debate over to Mohammed Hijab.
Unmute on Zoom. Unmute on Zoom. Unmute on Zoom. I can't hear any of you on Zoom.
Unmute.
Unmute on Zoom.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you
okay,
unmute as well?
Mohammed,
come to Zencaster.
Mohammed Hijab is
we don't
here.
hear on Zencaster.
No, it's all right. We're here. Can you hear us here?
I can hear you guys, but he's gonna have to unmute if he wants to engage.
Okay. Can you unmute your?
Look at Apostate Prophet. He looks so genuinely like scared right now. He's like, "What do I do? Do I leave or do I stay? Do I act like there's a connection problem? Do I leave? Do I just sign off?" Like you could tell, he doesn't know what to do right now.
Yeah. Can you hear us now?
Yeah. Now I haven't been paying attention to what you've been saying because I can't actually hear.
Yeah, so pretty much, as I was saying, we were telling him about his childish acts that he was doing, ripping the Quran and watching that guy eat the Quran, and he's trying to defend himself, but he just kept on mentioning your name, Ali Dawah's name, which I feel like is childish. It has nothing to do with Mohammed Hijab or Ali Dawah. This is about you disrespecting, the Quran. Like, what kind of? There's different ways to share your opinions.
Okay, I have to say something very quickly. You have. Adam and
I have to say something.
Invited me here today.
Yes,
acted as if you were very genuine people. Texted me.
No, we're here. You wanted to be on a podcast. We have someone who's knowledgeable.
I would that I would be talking here to.
We are talking
to the two.
We are talking.
You didn't say anything about Mohammed Hijab.
Okay, we're talking. He's a friend of ours. Knowledgeable. He helped us. He helped us, brother. He helped us. I'm sorry, we're not.
I would not have come here if Mohammed Hijab was here because I made a debate offer to Mohammed Hijab, which Mohammed Hijab.
We're here right now.
Afterwards, Mohammed Hijab told me to commit suicide. He harassed my
wife.
Listen,
don't be scared.
We're on here.
You about Islam.
You're talking about urinating.
If you have something to say, about Islam,
he tried to dox.
Look, listen. All of that.
Let him talk. Apus, let him talk. Apus, let him talk.
Okay. Look, let's put all of the insults to the side and let's put all of these matters to the side.
Make him let him talk. Let him talk.
One more thing. I just want to say one thing before you. I mean, you can go if you want to. It's just gonna say something about your spirit here.
It will say something about you. Everybody, I make a video about you right now. I made a debate.
We respect you, and we stop cutting you off. Can you stop cutting off? Can you stop?
Calm down.
Oh wow! You see how he's getting so emotional? He's like, "You ran away. You're pee." I mean, he's like calling him basically a pussy. Right, that's what he said. Why is he so emotional? This man has been taunting Mohammed Hijab, has been doing live streams with that other idiot, David Wood. Crackpot David Wood, the psychopath, and goading him out in the text. And now he's in front of him. And I don't want to talk to him. I'm not going to talk to him, bro. Okay, how about you give me the link, James Green? Can you give me the link to the one that you have? In the meantime, I'll play this because I don't know the audio. I saw this one was released. So how about you just give me the link? So while you give me the link, we'll go ahead and talk about this for a moment. You notice he's becoming very emotional, right? And what's funny is that when he has David Wood on the live stream with him, he's very emboldened, right? He's like, "Come on, Mohammed Hijab, I challenge you, Mohammed Hijab, I challenge you anytime, any now." Like he's like the rock star, right? Flexing his guns. And now Mohammed Hijab comes in very calm. You notice Mohammed Hijab hasn't even insulted him yet. I'm just noticing that right now. Right now, Mohammed Hijab hasn't even called him a single name, not even a single insult. And like basically right now, this man is losing his cool. He's like absolutely going bananas right now. And he's offended for what? For a bunch of words? Isn't that like what they're advocating? There should be freedom of speech. There should be, a collective recognition that people should have the right to express themselves, it makes no sense to me. Why be so emotional? I don't get it. But listen, James, I'm gonna have to continue because I don't know of any other link, unless you are saying, is it on Mohammed Hijab's channel? Is that what it's on? Hold on. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Let me just check out Mohammed. If it's on Mohammed Hijab's channel, I'll check that one out in the meantime because let's see here. Sorry, guys. Someone's telling me that there is a better quality. What's Mohammed Hijab's channel? Sorry, I don't even know. Okay, Mohammed Hijab's channel. Whoops. Oh, I think this is the one. Okay, here's the one. Okay, can you guys see this one or no? Okay, I'm gonna have to share the other one. Okay. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna share the other one real quick. The new one that I have. Chrome tab. Okay. How about this? Does this work, guys? Is this good? All right. Yeah, I think this is the one. All right. Let's continue, guys. I think this is just a little bit forward from where we went. So okay. Well, I think this is where we were. Okay, wait, hold on. I think we were in the same place last time. It's the same show. Hold on. It's the same one. So I'm gonna go back to where we were. Oh, you can't hear anything? I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me, I might have done the wrong thing. Whoops. Hold on here. Let me do the tab and share the audio. My fault, guys. Okay, this will be better. Thank you for calling that out, guys. So let's leave out where we were last time. At 12:38, guys. Yep. Okay.
You seem triggered. You seem emotionally unstable. Listen. That's all fine. That's all fine.
Good now.
Listen, with all due respect, I mean, what we can do now is. Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. Let's not
listen to you. Will you take
listen. Let's just finish. Give me a chance to speak. Give me a chance to speak. All I'm saying now. Putting all of the hostilities and the toxicities to the side.
I will not put it aside.
Oh well, if you can't manage that, right? If you can't manage that, then you can't manage freedom of speech.
that has nothing to do with.
You can't manage freedom of speech. You're okay to eat up a Quran, laugh at it, and rip it up. But when all I'm doing is having an intellectual discussion.
That is not everybody. That is not what freedom of speech is about.
Look, am I being insulting now? I'm not being insulting now. I'm not being insulting to you right now. Yeah, I'm giving you. Listen. Sorry, please.
Hey, real quick, can I get an audio check, guys? Is the audio working? Are you guys getting sound right now, or was that working fine? Because I think you guys were saying the audio was not working. It's good now. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, let's continue.
You're a person who refutes Islam intellectually. That's at least the claim that you make. All I'm doing now, we're people that have much bigger platforms than you. We're giving you a chance, okay, as an unqualified person who, as you are, to actually make a case against Islam. Look, please.
Don't tell me about giving people
please. We're giving you a chance. Look, I'm gonna say this straightforward. For all the toxicities and hostilities, listen, just for a second. Stop being emotional. Be calm. All we're saying is, look, if you have a case against Islam, all I want to hear now is your strongest argument against Islam.
I will not talk to you.
Say your strongest argument. We're saying it.
Wait, subhanAllah, you see this? Mohammed Hijab has been, from what I can tell so far, very kind from the beginning, right? Very respectful, saying, hey, listen, he hasn't hurled a single insult. He's saying, put the banter aside, put all the joking aside. I'm here, you're here. We're giving you a platform. Give me your best case against Islam. And what is he doing? I'm not going to talk to you. This is what he said. This is what you can tell, that this man is insincere in having that debate. He doesn't want to talk to Mohammed Hijab. He is shook right now. That's what we say out in the street. Right now, Apostate Prophet is shook. He's scared that he's in front of Mohammed Hijab because he doesn't have people around him that, quote, know Islam. He's not as knowledgeable about Islam as he claims. And that's why he doesn't want to have this debate. You can see right now he's bringing up every kind of excuse. Oh, you did this to my wife. You did that. You did this. You're talking about this. Oh, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, every kind of excuse. Ridwan the shook. That's what we're going to call him. He's been shook. Let's continue.
Strongest argument against Islam. I'm happy to hear it.
I will not talk to you.
Do you have an argument? Look, you are talking to me. Yeah. You have to talk. Look, you are talking to me. You have an opportunity now to speak in front of millions of Muslims.
I have made you an offer in which.
Listen, the offer is. Look, you have a chance. The floor is yours. The floor is yours in front of millions of people. Millions of people. This is your chance. This is your chance. What we're saying is, listen, this is your chance in front of millions of people. Listen, put the offer to the side for now. We're talking about something. Look. Don't be emotional. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You seem jittery. Don't be jittery. Don't be scared. Okay, calm down. Calm down.
Wow, he's getting so mad. Like, shut the hell up. Don't call me jittery. Shut up. Leave me alone. He's getting so emotional.
Angry. Take
a chill pill.
Just calm down. Calm down. We're talking normally. Look,
being so damn you know what I feel like? I'm gonna talk right now. I'm gonna talk. No, I'm gonna talk. You know what I feel like? I feel like you're trying to take advantage of me and Slim because we're not knowledgeable.
Good point.
Mohammed Hijab is a friend of ours. He's a friend of ours. He is very educated. He is inspiring. Why are you taking off your headphones? Put your headphones on. Can you hear us?
Let me speak.
What a baby. What a baby. Like, you know what this is like, guys? This is the equivalent of doing this. You know when you yell at a child and they go like this, they put their finger in there, nah, 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 nah. This is exactly what he's doing right now. He's taking off his earphones because he doesn't want to listen. He was ranting for like just 2 minutes ago, and everybody had to hear his feminine rant about why his feelings are hurt. But now people want to talk to him, and he has to pull off his headphones. What are you doing at Prophet? I mean, you are shook, man.
Speak. All right, speak. Please do. Let him speak. Listen, we just said present your strongest argument against Islam. All right.
We're letting you speak. Go ahead.
Number one, let me speak. Number one, I made an offer to Mohammed Hijab, which was very clear in the very beginning, which was that we are going to have an online debate. That is the fairest discourse that you could possibly.
We're online right now.
This is not about having. This is not about this. Look.
Well, let him talk. He's using that excuse right now because you keep interrupting. All right, listen. You made an offer to debate him, right?
The fairest offer that
you guys are here to debate now.
In the world.
What's better than an actual?
Because you are not letting me talk. Do you see the difference? The difference between a debate would be that I would have 20 minutes to talk. Mohammed Hijab would have 22 minutes to talk. It would be nobody's control.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to give you a time. If you want a time, if that's the excuse, look, if that's the excuse,
Number two, Adam Saleh and Slim. I have offered you a very clear choice and said I will come to you.
You want 10 minutes and I'll be quiet in those 10 minutes.
Talk to Ali Dawa and you.
It seems like we're not going anywhere here.
Did I do that or did I not?
Look. Can I say something? Can I respond?
Mohammed talk.
Yeah, look. All I'm saying is this, right? Putting all of the negotiations aside for the debate. Look, we're here and now. People on your side and my side, they want to hear an engagement. If you want me to be, with all due respect, we don't like each other. That's fine. You can put that to the side. You're here in front of a fresh new audience of Muslim people. All right, we're giving you a chance as someone who is a critic of Islam, a polemic against Islam, to produce your strongest argument against it. Now, what I'm going to say is this: look, I'm happy to stay quiet for as long as you want me to stay quiet. Right now, if you say, look, stay quiet for 5 minutes, stay quiet for 10 minutes, I will be muted for that time, okay? And then I'll have the same time to yeah, I can't see what's going on.
This is so childish.
What's going on here?
What are you doing?
This is so.
I don't know. Look.
Let's talk about now. Let's have our conversation now.
Should we pull up your tweets? We're gonna pull up your tweets here. You want to pull up tweets? Let's pull up your childish tweets and the stuff.
Look, you're just running away.
You are making rape implications about my wife. You are making rape threats about my wife.
That's not about your wife.
It's
not about your wife, and that's aside the point. It doesn't say your wife anywhere there. It says
you are
the.
making rape implications about my wife.
That's nothing to do with your wife. That has nothing to do with your wife. And it's not there, my friend.
Wait, hold on. He's getting crazy, like emotional. First of all, Mohammed Hijab, I'm looking at this tweet right now. It mentions nothing about rape. But first of all, what about the behavior of the people he likes to bring on his show? Like Sam Shimon and David Wood, who co-signs stuff that Christian Prince does. Christian Prince will say, "Oh, women should get raped in Islam. You should get this. You guys should have, you guys should go have sex with your children." I mean, all kinds of stuff like this. He can insult people generally like this and call for this kind of stuff. And what now when Mohammed Hijab is not even insinuating that he feels like his wife is going to be raped by this. So now he's getting emotional. Now all of a sudden he has ghira. Now he has fucking honor for his. I'm sorry, I'm getting so mad now. He has honor for his wife now. Now in this moment, why don't you go and take your wife off of the Twitter feed if you have honor for her, right? Why don't you take her out of your shenanigans online if you have honor for your wife? Don't come to be a defense of your wife now when you put her out there and try to encourage her to be, your number one chatter, right? I mean, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely horrible. Anyways, go ahead. Let's continue.
Hijab,
you have a chance to engage with. Where does it say your wife? Where does it say your wife there?
Right here. This is my wife.
No, that doesn't say when these Islamophobes. These is a pronoun for what? For a woman?
If I insulted your wife?
You can do it. It's freedom of speech. You can do that if you like.
Yeah,
you insult my prophet. No, it is. You insult my prophet. You eat the Quran. You rip it up.
Fair point.
How about Ali Dawa telling me that?
Your wife is so sensitive, my friend. Your wife
telling me that I should have sex with my 3-year-old son.
Your wife is a public figure. Your wife is online on a public
figure by definition.
Look, your definition. She has a public profile. She's open to
people know her just by her name.
Why is it that freedom of speech is only applicable when it's?
That is not what freedom of speech is about.
Exactly.
Why can you rip up the Quran? Why can you eat the Quran? But then when we come back, right, and do something against a public figure, which you might find distasteful, you're now panicking and having an anxiety attack. Why has the cat got your tongue now? Why has the cat got your tongue?
You are an intellectual.
Why are you insulting him? Why are you insulting him? Why don't you produce your strongest argument against Islam?
I'm waiting for it. If you want to engage me, I'm happy to engage you.
He's not insulting you.
Look, I'm saying to you, look, if you want 10 minutes, I will be muted. Listen. Look, don't worry about insults. Insults are freedom of speech. That's what you believe.
No, they're not. That's
yes,
not how it works.
They are freedom of speech. Yes, they are. Look, with all due respect, I have 4 degrees to my name. 4.
You don't know anything about it. Freedom of speech.
You have any? One of those,
he's
by the way,
beast
is
mode now.
Philosophy, which is about freedom of speech.
What
are your degrees? What are your degrees? What are your degrees?
It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to you.
You notice when he asked him about degrees, the man just laughed like it was not important. Interesting. Just a thought here.
You don't have a basic understanding of freedom of speech. You do not have the authority to tell me what you think freedom of speech is. I have actually written books on liberalism.
I don't care.
How many books do you write?
My professors, when they were peer reviewing them, they didn't tell me that I was wrong about my understandings of freedom of speech.
Okay, can you tell me this then?
Yeah.
According to you, does freedom of speech mean that you can say whatever you want and nobody should get angry about this?
Well, according to liberal philosophers like John Stuart Mill, and his book on utilitarianism and other books like On Liberty and so on, freedom of speech is only curtailed by the harm principle. And for him, the harm principle entailed physical harm. There were some things that he mentioned in his book that he saw was distasteful, right? So, for example, people having sexual intercourse, he said things that affect the sensibilities of people. But for example, people having sexual intercourse on the roadsides, John Stuart Mill saw that as something which is unethical. But in terms of me insulting, the freedom to insult is not something which is censored by people, freedom of speech advocates, including those philosophical founding fathers. Now, my point is this: it's very happy days for you when you come up and rip the Quran and eat it and spit it out. It's freedom of speech. But when hold on. But when I don't, within the scope of the law, because to this day there's no police officer that has contacted me, and believe you me, there is no court injunction against me. All the things that I've said on Twitter are by law, UK law and US law, absolutely within the full scope of the law. And I'm waiting for a court order. I'm waiting for an injunction to prove me otherwise. There's nothing within the spirit or letter of the law, nor within the parameters of freedom of speech as per liberal ethics that stop me from insulting you and your wife, who has a public figure platform, attacking Islam and calling the Prophet of Islam all kinds of names. If you cannot handle the freedom of speech when it comes back at you, do not try and give it to people, a community of people, by spitting out the Quran, laughing at the Quran, and so on and so forth. Because that would imply that you are a person of weakness. You're an individual.
Was that my question?
Yeah. So that answers your question.
Let me respond. Was that my question? Do you really think that was my question?
Yeah.
What's your question? Just repeat it for yourself.
Was that really my question?
What was your question?
My question was, according to your understanding of freedom of speech, does freedom of speech mean that you can say whatever you want and no one can be angered about it?
No, not whatever you want. There are laws of libel. There are laws of defamation. There are laws of copyright. There are laws. So there are
your freedom of speech. Does freedom of speech, according to you, mean that no one can be angry about it? About what you're
angry about you eating and spitting out the Quran, and you and David.
Of course, you can.
I mean, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to play by the rules, don't do the things that aggravate other communities.
Well, that was not what my question was about, because you are making it look like
we can be angry.
You are making it look like I have no right to be angry and to refuse to talk.
No one made you look like that.
State of mind has got nothing to do.
You want to debate him, though. You offered to debate him, and then when you have the opportunity to debate him, get in your face.
Exactly. Ridwan offered to debate Mohammed Hijab, and now he's claiming I'm too angry to debate you because you offended my wife, and I don't want to debate you anymore. Although I'm free to offend you and the Quran, the most important thing. And now, even though you're supposed to take that, the debate. If you don't take a debate, you're a coward. But since you offended me, I don't have to take it because I'm offended, I'm angry, and I don't want to talk to you. Do you see the double standard? You are a coward, Ridwan. If you're watching this, if you ever watched this video, you are a coward, Ridwan. You have no business talking about religion. You have no business being a man. You have nothing to talk about, dude. Shut your mouth. You're done. You're finished. You're done.
It's irrelevant. Your anger is your anger. The truth doesn't care about your anger.
Everybody, do you see this? This is exactly why I'm not wanting to have this conversation.
Why? Because
I am here trying to give you a response, and you haven't even let me talk.
Go ahead, please.
But come on, man. You never. The more you're talking about is responding.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, I will include this in my upcoming video about you, Mohammed Hijab. I think you can evade that.
What a sneaky little guy. My upcoming video about you. He knows he can't confront him here while he's in front of him. So he's going to wait till this is done and make another video and upload it because he can't confront Mohammed Hijab right now. You just catch that, by the way? What a slimy little sneaky snake. Hold on. Whoops. Let me just go back here. I actually hit back on that one. Okay.
But I have a video upcoming about you in which I will
demonstrate. This is not about Mohammed Hijab. This isn't about Ali Dawah or anybody. I don't know if you're in love with him or something, but this is about you ripping up the Quran and laughing at people eating the Quran and talking about urinating on the Quran on your Twitter.
Is this worse than telling people that they should be put to death?
This guy, no, we don't condone it. Look, you're childish.
You're complaining about insulting, and then you're doing something which is insulting.
Is this worse?
That doesn't hurt us, man.
You just mean disrespectful. What about the right and wrong?
It doesn't affect us when you do
even right and wrong.
I put the Quran in. I can burn the Quran. I can put it in water.
Yeah, real quickly. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to rip the Quran and burn it and desecrate it in front of us. Listen, let me be very clear to any atheist or Islam hater watching this. Dude, we don't care about if you burn the Quran. The Quran is not something that that you're gonna you desecrate, or if you get rid of it, like we're not going to have the Quran anymore. Sometimes when we have bad copies of the Quran, we burn it ourselves. I mean, you're not doing anything new. The problem is that here's the fundamental issue here. right? When you, I mean, this is what I want to remind you of for all you haters out there who want to burn the Quran, think you're harming the Muslims, right? If you want, let's take all your books and let's take all of our books and let's throw all the Qurans in the sea and throw all the Bibles in the sea. Wallahi wa uqsim billah, we'll have a Quran tomorrow from heart, from memory, exactly as it was. There will be no more Bible. There will be no more Torah. There will be nothing. It'll be done. The Quran is memorized by Hufaz all across the world. Do you think by you ripping up a little mushaf that you have in front of you is going to attack Muslims? I mean, what, you're doing it with the intention of pissing people off, but here you are right now. You're scared, like you're shook, you're emotional, and you're doing it again because that's all you know how to do. You can't debate. He's asking you to make the number one case against Islam, and all you can do is just rip a Quran in front, trying to provoke a response. And notice, by the way, look how Mohammed Hijab responds. He doesn't get mad. He doesn't get emotional like, like Apostate, prophet was doing. He wasn't crying and having a panic attack. He just said, look, fine, if you want to rip it, go ahead. We also burn it and rip it as well, too, and we want to dispose of it. You're not doing anything different. I mean, just notice that key difference, guys.
Doesn't affect you. It's great. It's fantastic that it doesn't affect
you. What's your point by doing that?
But is this worse?
So lame.
And telling people that they should be
look like a fool right now. Right?
Look,
this is your defense. This is your defense.
What we're saying is, we're not saying that you should be killed. Let me put that on the record. Let me put that on the record.
You brought it up. I'm responding.
Let me tell you something. Let me put
telling people they should be killed.
Well, Apus, listen. I'm telling you right in front of you.
Fuck up. Don't call me Apus, okay?
I can call you whatever I like.
Hey, you better not call me Apus, all right? Stop it right now, Mohammed Hijab. I don't like that name. Don't call me Apus. Stop it. Stop it now.
Answer me a question.
They're triggered.
Answer me a question, Mohammed. You have talked enough. I have gave you the time to respond.
Why would you answer me one question? 7,000 miles away.
Answer me one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adam Saleh and Slim Al-Bahir here were not convinced that this is the response. According to Islam,
according to your version of Islam,
under an Islamic
your unqualified understanding of it. Yeah, you're not qualified, are you? Let's be honest. You don't have any training in Islam, do you?
True, that's true.
You don't have any training. Do you have any training in Islam?
According to Islam,
by your own admission. So why are you saying according to Islam? You should say according to my understanding of Islam, which is.
I'm asking you a question. Can I ask you a question about the Islamic rules?
Yes, sir. You can ask you a question. The educator the question. Yes.
You are an idiot. Can I ask you a question about the Islamic rulings according to my understanding? You don't even have the brain to think about this. I'm asking you a question about your Islamic rulings.
You're so emotional. You're an idiot. You don't have the brain to think about it. But here he is. The guy just rips up the Quran instead of making an argument. And he's telling Mohammed Hijab, a guy who has 4 degrees, written books about liberalism, has a peer-reviewed, a book out there, has debated many people in a professional platform, but he's small-minded. He's not capable. Who are you fooling, Ridwan? You fool, Hamad. Who are you fooling? You're an idiot. You're making a fool of yourself. What are you trying to do?
According to the Islamic jurisdiction, according to Islam, according to the Islamic
jurisprudence,
whatever, according to it's my third language. While you spend time going into answer the question, according to Islam, somebody who leaves Islam, i.e., me or other people, somebody who leaves Islam and makes it public that they have left Islam, it explains to the public that they have left Islam and why they have left Islam. Is this person to be put to death under Islam?
Well, I've written a book on this. It's actually called the Liberal. I just want to put to you that I've written a book on this, which is actually my dissertation for one of my degrees, which I got a distinction in, and which was peer reviewed by two liberal people by my ad and given a distinction. So I think this will be a professional answer here, not like yours. My answer is this: it really depends on the situation. I'm not saying to you that Islam, the only ruling in Islam, is that the person who is a public apostate is to be put to death. In fact, in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had a negotiation with Suhail ibn Amr, in that treaty, there was a clear parenthesis put in place, or a clause, a stipulation put in place, whereby apostates would be actually redirected or strategically relocated. For that reason, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah and many of the scholars, in fact, from my reading, the majority of scholars say, it's possible that a public apostate, and listen carefully, I'm answering your question directly, a public apostate just like yourself, not just within the Western world, but within an Islamic state, is not actually put to death and is strategically located to another country, for example.
I agree.
A safe
I
haven.
agree.
And that is not despite.
Why is he shaking his head, Ya Hamar? What do you know about it? Look, Wallahi, this is what I'm talking about. The ignorance of these people. Stupid Hamar Apus doesn't even know who Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi is, doesn't know even what Surib Hudaybiyah is, doesn't even know who Suhail bin Amr is, doesn't know any of it, doesn't even know the significance of Hudaybiyah, doesn't know this, right? But he's shaking his head like he knows something. Like, why don't you issue a refutation instead of shaking your head like a lost donkey? He always, even in the debate with Daniel Hakikachu, he couldn't answer. All he does is shake his head and laugh. Shake his head and laugh. You're like a bobblehead, dude. You're nothing more than I mean, for those of you that know, like, Star Trek, a Klingon character, he's like a Klingon bobblehead. All he does is make that weird face and do the bobble. That's what he does. He's shook. I mean, I don't get it. What an absolute retard. But let's continue. Let me see what our brother Mohammed Hijab has to continue to say.
Because of it, and the reason and the evidence of that is the Hadith in Bukhari, which is as you know, the most authoritative Hadith book, which stipulates this point on the Kitab of the Hadith of Suhail ibn Amr. So, in other words, what I actually recommend in my book, which is ironic, I say that in this day and age, my position is not that apostates, even in Muslim countries, this is my position, even in Muslim countries which claim to rule by Islamic law. I proposed in the book, I proposed that it would be within the maslahah, the common interest of the Muslim people, to make peace treaties, the like of which was seen by the Prophet Muhammad himself, with non-Muslim countries, such that apostates in certain Muslim countries are not to be put to death, and in fact are strategically located to other non-Muslim countries in a way to protect their life. And in fact, if you go against such treaty, according to the scholars that I've mentioned, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, al-Mirdawi, and others, who actually mentioned this very explicitly in their jurisprudential tracts, if you go against this, then that would be something which is seen as immoral.
You guys know there's a humbling moment here. You see Apus, he's taking notes. He's in classroom right now. Class is in session. The professor is talking, and he is taking notes. That is what is happening here. He doesn't know who these people are. He doesn't know what Mohammed Hijab is even talking about. Finally, he shuts his mouth and he starts listening. Okay, very good. Bravo alaik, Mohammed Hijab. Bravo alaik, Habibi. Good job.
Immoral because it goes against the contractual agreements. It says in Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 verse 1, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil uqud. Oh, you have believed, be faithful to your contracts. And that includes contracts with disbelieving nations. It includes contracts with non-Muslim nations, and so on and so on. So my position actually is this: if there is a country now that wants to rule by Islamic law, I do not think it within the common interest of that particular country to exercise that particular law of apostasy. I think it is within the full scope of the jurisprudential Islamic allowance, as well as the law, for that Muslim country to make a peace treaty with other non-Muslim countries such that there will be a strategic relocation, and that is my position on the matter. Yes, of course, in history there have been times where there have been public apostasies, but in the book that I've written and the capital punishment employed, but that's not the position that I think is most beneficial for the world today. And I think actually my historical analysis, when I did a historical analysis, I looked at America and I looked at Turkey, which are countries.
Well, you are contradicting with the historical consensus in Islamic jurisprudence.
Well, actually, I've just mentioned to you. No, you're saying I'm contradicting it. I'm giving you evidence from a consensus is when there's no difference of opinion. I've just told you Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, his book Kitab al-Ma'ad, Zad al-Ma'ad, sorry, he mentioned the allowance for this. How can it be a consensus?
The majority consensus is that apostates are to be put to death. Which is
no, you're forcing your worldview on us. Look, you're forcing.
There are several countries in the world today that have.
Look, I'm not saying that. Listen. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm telling you what you don't want to hear, maybe. But I'm telling you, it's possible. Yes,
you are being dishonest because you came here before and you excused.
As you know, I'm not shy to say something outrageous. I'm a wild character. If I want to, I'll say something outrageous. I have no problem. I'm telling you what it is. that I've looked.
Wait, so really quickly, first of all, just to further strengthen, I'm sure Mohammed Hijab will mention this in his book. There's also the case of Ibn Salul, who during the time of this Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was the chief of the hypocrites. They knew that people were going out and they were conspiring against Rasulullah. They were actually trying to compete in power with him. Rasulullah knew that he was a hypocrite. He knew that he was a person that was conspiring, although he never really exposed him and allowed him to be as he was. Right? This is a very key example of people who are known. There are also other examples of people, Sahaba, that had informed the Quraysh in Mecca of the Muslims coming to them as a military campaign, and they wrote to them and informing them of the army coming. And this is betrayal, right? They basically gave up the position of the Muslims. But Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, instead of having him immediately executed, he asked him for a reason. And he said, I don't have, my family has nobody, no allies among Quraysh. And so if, they were to come there and they lose, then my family would be persecuted. And so I did it out of fear. And so whatever it may be, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam forgave him for this, right? He didn't have him killed. So there are instances in which there is riddah, clear riddah, in which the Prophet ﷺ did not kill somebody, right? So Mohammed Hijab is absolutely correct. Actually, I would have went on to say that actually in Islam, that is the full extent of the law. For example, if I break a law in America today, and if I say, if I commit some crime, they say the penalty is up to 10 years in prison or 25 years in prison and $10,000 fine, max fine. Does that mean I'm always going to get 25 years in prison or a $10,000 max fine? No, it means I could get up to that. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to have that punishment, right? That means the judge is within his limits to do so depending on the situation. So I may get 5 years or 2 years, or maybe even a $10 fine. It all depends on the severity. Likewise, this is the maximum where the hudud that it can be implemented. And so therefore, this is the point that he could have brought up as well too. But nonetheless, I think this answer is sufficient because Ridwan doesn't know anything about the Shari'i principles. He knows nothing about it. Neither do most people, but the problem is that he is displaying his arrogance. He's trying to make it sound like that he knows what he's talking about when he has no idea what Mohammed Hijab is talking about. And even the ulama and even the historical time or events that Mohammed Hijab is bringing up, Apus has no idea what these are. Anyways, let's continue.
From the books that I've read and the scholars that I've spoken to, all of them agree with me, yes, that actually it's completely conceivable and totally allowable within a Muslim nation that a Muslim nation does a peace treaty with a non-Muslim nation, and the public apostates that come out and say, we are public apostates, we are against the Prophet Muhammad, we are against just like you, and even, so on and so forth. Maybe not just like you, actually, but someone who does all that stuff, and then they can be. What will happen to you? Well, it depends on what you want to do. If you are a public apostate and just go ahead.
If I did exactly what I'm doing right now in the ideal Islamic country, what would happen to me?
Well, look, if you did what you're doing right now in an ideal Islamic country, I'm sure there will be vigilantes, okay, that will take the law into their own hands. There's a difference between what the civilians do, yes, and what the law says. In an ideal Islamic country, this won't be tolerated. It's like asking me if do you know this? There was a film called Die Hard 3. I used to watch films when I was younger. Die Hard with a Vengeance. And then Bruce Willis, he came with this postage saying, "I hate niggers." Sorry to say the word, but he said, "I hate niggers," and he went to Harlem. Harlem, and then these guys saw him and they were going to kill him. I'm not going to tell you that if you are living in a Muslim majority place and you're ripping up the Quran in Pakistan or some place, that you're going to be fine. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not talking. Yeah,
but I'm talking to you about laws. I'm talking to you about what's conceivable.
That was my question. What about the law?
Yeah, the law. What I'm saying to you is, I've just told you what the law is. Public.
No, you said.
Yeah. What I said from the law perspective is totally conceivable, as I've just mentioned, right? And do you know what I've said is the book that I've written, which is called a public. Sorry, I can't remember. It's a treatise. I said it's called critiques of the public, the liberal critiques to Ridda. That's the name of the book. I forgot the name of the book. It's called the liberal critiques to Ridda. Okay, and this book, what I actually show historically is this, because I'm sure you're aware, you're a Turkish-speaking person. You can actually access now online the majority of Ottoman archives, and a lot of it will be in Ottoman language. So it's actually not even in Arabic, but it's kind of Arabic script, but it's Ottoman Turkish, right? So we had a translator who looked at from the period of, say, Bayezid the second, which is about 1517, all the way up to when the end of the Ottoman Empire. We looked at that, and we also looked at America. And what we found was quite intriguing, actually, because what we found is that there were some acts in America, for example, burning of flags, and so on and so forth, which were prosecuted by death. And I show you the case studies in the book. And so this was a symbolic act. It wasn't a military act. It was seen as treacherous and treasonous. And in the same way, there were some instances like that in the Ottoman Empire. What I found quite interesting, though, was that the Ottoman judges were way more reluctant to exercise apostasy laws.
Oh, of course.
In terms of the primary source materials that is referenced in the book, and you can check it out, language that I'm sure you have access to.
No, there'll be also a very easy scenario here. Can apostate prophet provide any kind of historical written evidence about the numbers of people that were executed for leaving a religion, or for hudud in general? Can he provide any type of example? It would be very difficult for him to even do so. Why is he talking about something as if it's some kind of norm that if anyone who leaves Islam, they're automatically going to be just beheaded in the street? Nobody believes this. Only this guy who believes in this, boogeyman under his bed, the Muslimic boogeyman that's going to come out and put Sharia law on his forehead every time he steps out of the house. Nobody believes in this, dude. This guy is paranoid. He's paranoid. He lives in America. He's paranoid. He has no guts. He's a coward. As Christian Prince, a coward. But he doesn't know what he's. I don't know why he's so worried. Nobody wants to kill the guy. You know what I think it is? I think he wants that to be the case because he wants to get more fame and publicity. He wants to be in the spotlight. Oh, this guy is so brave. He's in the face of Islam, and the radicals want to kill him. And he's living in fear, but he continues on in his path, in his quest against Islam. He's a crusader. You know what I mean? Like. He wants that to be true to help boost his character online. That's what I believe.
Maybe directly. So you can check out actually on an implementation level how much this was actually implemented. By the way, I'm not trying to say, and I want to make this very clear, I'm not trying to say that there is no such thing as the capital punishment in Islam for non-allegiance to the state, which is like ridda. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that there is maneuverability within the law, the scope of the law. So such that a hakim, if you like, a ruler, there's a scope of maneuverability there. And what I'm saying is, and this is not a reform position, it's not a liberal position, this is within the traditionalist discourse. And I think people like you should actually listen to people like me, because if I get my way, right, if I had my recommendation in place, then in fact the world would be, in your world, a safer place, in your understanding. So why are you trying to force me? Why do you force me to want to kill you people like you? I don't want to kill you.
Because I don't believe you.
Look, you don't have to believe me. I've given you evidence.
Do you condemn the killing of apostates?
Look,
do you condemn it?
Yeah, because if you kill apostates now, there is no law and order.
So
there's no law and order on that. There's absolutely condemn it.
No, well, first of all, listen. Why does he have to condemn the killing of apostate? He doesn't live in a state where it happens. If there was a case where it happens. And it depends on case by case. For example, what happens if an apostate is planning to kill other people? Should that apostate be spared simply because he's an apostate? No. Just because you're an apostate doesn't give you the license to insult Islam. What a double-sided question. Shut up, Apus. You're such a snake. I know it's hard for Mohammed Hijab just to, see this. I'm looking at this in hindsight. But Apus is playing a game of logical fallacies here. There can be multiple conditions for an apostate. There can be an apostate who's non-hostile, who has no intention to harm the state, and there can be another apostate who is intentionally harming the state, who is intentionally causing fasad and fitna. And so the ruling on these two individuals would be different. It's not even worth even trying to explain this to a person who doesn't understand the basics.
I would never
condemn capital punishment for apostasy.
I absolutely condemn.
Do you condemn your friend Ali Dawa telling me that
I absolutely condemn the killing of apostates, because that is completely against law and order. Apostates, listen, I say to you something. There's a hadith.
Actually, I take the opinion of Mohammed Hijab on that. I believe that hudud in itself is a time and place, meaning that, and understand this. This is how I understand it. I'm not a scholar, but from what I've been reading, the principles of the Sharia are static. The application of them can be dynamic depending on the time and place. One of the biggest important parts of being Muslim is to be part of the Jama'ah and not to break from the Jama'ah. right? If you know that, for example, by shunning somebody and pushing them away or giving them hudud, they are going to leave Islam and they're going to go join a group of people that will cause more harm or completely take them out of the fold of Islam, you're actually doing them more harm, right? The idea is to make sure they stay within the jama'ah, they reform their activities, they don't continue in a life of sin and fasad. That is the objective of these punishments, not that you force people away from Islam. So I see where he is coming from. I believe even there are some scholars, I don't want to quote their name now because I'm forgetting them, but I've read some treatises by scholars about this during the classical period and during the golden period of Islam, where they were comparing on how some of the ulama and some of the leaders, they were relaxed on certain things because they knew if they punished them, it would only drive them into worse sins. So the principle that Mohammed Hijab is talking about, I don't think it's anything outlandish. It's just that Apus doesn't know this because he doesn't look at the book, the literature. He only reads bits and parts of the ahadith that he gets on, answeringislam.com, and he doesn't read like the explanations and the scholarly conversations about this, right? He won't know that. Let's continue.
And we're talking about primary source materials now. Hudayfa bin Yaman, he's a Sahabi. He had a list of individuals who, for all intents and purposes, they were munafiqeen. They were people who had lost their faith. And in the list of all of those individuals, including Abdullah bin Salul and others, those individuals, none of them were killed. Why? Even though all of them were not sympathetic to Muhammad.
He mentions the point.
They went against him. None of them. Why were they not killed? The reason why they were not killed is because I put to you, and this is what As-Sarakhsi says, the Hanafi jurist, and this is before liberalism was even invented. He wrote this. It's nothing to do with you changing your faith. Islam and Allah is not afraid of you changing your faith. You can change your faith all you like. We don't care because Allah will judge you on the day of judgment. We believe those who change their faith and become apostates, they will be in the hellfire and burning and all that stuff. We believe in eternal damnation. I mean, that's even worse than for us. It's an eschatological reality. We say that this is nothing to do with you changing your faith. It's all to do, yes, with the allegiance or non-allegiance to a state. And if your bay'ah or the allegiance is premised on a theological reality, which is, yes.
And you believe that the state should be Islamic and everybody should be forced to pledge allegiance to the state, don't you?
No, I don't think that is any. Look, if it's a Muslim majority country, absolutely. But if it's a Muslim,
absolutely.
Yeah, if it's a Muslim majority,
so what is the difference then?
No.
If you believe that an Islamic state should be established.
I think if it's a Muslim majority country, then there's a democratic impetus for even on democratic worldview, for you to say, well, the majority are Muslim. If they want Islam, then surely on democratic principles, outsiders should have nothing to do with that. But if it's
so
not,
everything that you have said was just a complete waste of time because you believe that
why is it a waste of time? Maybe you don't understand it. That's why.
Because you believe that an Islamic state, an Islamic government should be established if the majority is Muslim.
Yeah, but the Islamic government shouldn't.
You, for example, want to spread Islam to the entire UK. So if
the
majority of the entire UK,
to be honest,
what a liar, Kadhab.
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that.
Islamic state, and this Islamic state should be.
You see this Haywan, he's trying to say, put a point. This is what we call a straw man. He is trying to assign and ascribe a point to Mohammed Hijab, which he didn't say about himself, and then make a point based on that. He's straw manning him. Mohammed Hijab never told him about having a forcing Sharia in the UK. You were talking about Muslim majority countries where there is, this has been the tradition. For example, places in the Middle East, places like Pakistan, Afghanistan, places where historically have been Muslim, predominantly Muslim. What a sneaky little sly dog.
I don't want an Islamic state in Britain. I'm not asking for an Islamic state in Britain.
If I, for example, left Islam in that Islamic state and openly spoke about it and openly spoke against this religion, then I would be put to death. And you would
I'm not saying you're put to death. I'm not saying you're put to death on the end.
You see what it says again? He keeps saying, oh, you want to put me to death. And Mohammed Hijab just got done explaining to him, Apus, you're a moron. Wallahi, uqsum billah, you're a retard. Qasamun billah, you're a retard. Stop talking anymore. You should stop talking, Apus. You're stupid. You're emotional and you're dumb. Honestly, you're wasting a man like this. Talk to us people. I'm a nobody. But this man has, an academic career. You, Apus, are a retard. You have no qualifications, no knowledge, no listening abilities, no comprehension. You're wasting our goddamn time.
You're making it seem like we want to kill you. No one wants to kill you. Like
exactly. We don't want to kill you, dude.
You're not afraid of conversion. You cannot be a Jew or a Christian or an atheist. That's your decision. I swear to God, I don't care. I swear. But
do you condemn
about that? What I'm saying
you are aware that the majority of your fellow.
I believe that you will, for that reason, you'll be eternally damned in the hellfire.
You are aware that the majority of your fellow Islamic scholars and apologists agree that apostates who make their apostasy open should be put to death, including your friends Al-Dawa, including Daniel Hikmet, including many others.
So let me answer.
Do you think they are wrong and you condemn them for that?
Well, here's my belief. I believe that what they're saying is they're mentioning a classical opinion in the books of fiqh or jurisprudence.
They're saying it should happen. They're not mentioning.
Well, if they're saying it should happen, my view is that if we actually have an Islamic state, and this is what I recommended in my book, it's in print. It's in print. Yeah, I'm saying that if there is an Islamic state, I believe that that Islamic state should have a peace treaty with a non-Islamic state, such that apostates, public apostates, don't need to be killed or are not killed at all. There's no harm done to them, and there's strategic relocation. And that is not despite the aqwal of the Prophet. It is because of the sayings of the Prophet. And the evidence of that is the fact that the Prophet ﷺ in Hudaybiyah, he actually had a peace treaty to that effect.
Is that without exception for all apostates?
Yes, all apostates will be.
You think no apostate should be killed? They should all be relocated to different countries.
Absolutely. I think that's my view. I don't think
so. My comment here, I think it depends. If this person is an apostate that was trying to conspire against the state and weaken and dissolve information and stuff, no, that person should be killed. Absolutely. Just like you can be killed for treason in certain parts of the world or life imprisonment. Absolutely. We can't trust those individuals. It depends. If it's solely only for apostasy, then I agree with Mohammed Hijab on this. But if that person was actively working against an Islamic state and trying to undermine it, and was in the matter of intelligence or military advice or anything like this, economic espionage, anything, that person is in the harm of the national interest of a state, of any potential state. So no, I believe the punishment, he does not have to be shipped off to another country or place. But that's just my opinion. I think these are getting into the nitty gritty. But I think in general, Mohammed Hijab is saying it's correct that if it's just for apostasy, I have no problem as a Muslim saying that these people should be can be extradited to a different country that has an agreement with an Islamic state that they are willing and ready to accept all the murtaddeen. No problem, because again, I think he does an excellent job in presenting the case for Hudaybiyah. Anyway, let's continue.
I appreciate that.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
I think that if you have
of course it's a good idea. It's brilliant.
Public apostates, because if you're doing things privately, there's no harm on you.
Absolutely.
But there's considerable harm, as you know, on public apostates who apostatize in Muslim majority places. So those individuals should be relocated, in my view, to other non-Muslim countries. And that is not despite what the Prophet said. It's because of what he allowed in the final peace treaty that he concluded with Suhail ibn Amr. And in fact, Ibn al-Qayyim, in his discussion of this, and other scholars, I'm just mentioning Ibn al-Qayyim because it comes to mind, he says it's not abrogated. This is an unabrogated law. So if this peace treaty is in place, my view is that actually that should be what happens. Now, I've said this a few times.
I would like to reiterate this for the public, because I think this is very great news, because many other people, especially many of those who oppose.
Hallelujah! Great news. I oppose.
So Mohammed Hijab here.
You think? Oh, I want to. Oh, okay, let's do this.
That Mohammed Hijab opposes the general ruling of the killing of apostates, public and private apostates,
well,
and he agrees that if in an Islamic state, in an Islamic country, which a majority Muslim country should
let me correct that.
Then apostates should not be killed, but they should be forcibly relocated to other countries, which is still by definition genocide, but at least it is not death. So that is what you are agreeing with.
Genocide.
Well, this is by definition genocide.
It's not genocide.
That's not genocide, idiot. That's not genocide.
No. Stop trying to use words that you don't know what the definitions of them are. Let me tell you, can I just articulate it? Can I correct your articulation?
Sure.
Mohammed Hijab believes that in an ideal Islamic state in the 21st century, that if there is a Muslim country, Muslim majority country that claims to rule by Islamic law, that such Muslim Islamic country should make a peace treaty or a contract with other non-Muslim countries, such that if public apostates become apparent in the public sphere, that such public apostates are relocated. And he is basing this on the final hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, where the Prophet, allowed such thing to happen with Suhail ibn Amr, and and where the scholars of Islam, and in fact, you could even argue the majority of scholars allow such thing. Mohammed Hijab is not saying it's not conceivable within an Islamic state, or it's not understood classically that there was such a thing, in the 1,400 years of Islamic history as public apostasy, punishments. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's a maneuverability within the scope of jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence, which allows Muslims to actually make this.
Look at Apus's face. He has no idea. Look at this. He has no idea. He has no idea. Look at the face he's making. He has no idea what the hell Mohammed Hijab is talking about. You see this? He has no idea what he's saying. He's just looking in La La Land. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. I mean, it's crazy.
A kind of contract. And I think that if Muslim majority countries make such contracts, that will decrease the ability of the non-Muslim enemy, to be able to attack Islam and its peoples on the pretense of human rights. And I think.
Do you think it is not conceivable that there should be such a thing?
I don't understand the question. Sorry, could you repeat that?
You said you're not saying that it is not conceivable that there was such a thing in the history and in the past. The killing of apostates. Do you also say that it is not conceivable that there should be such a thing in our time or in the future? Do you think it? Do you think it is wrong, inconceivable, impossible?
I say that Muslim.
No, I know what you think. I know what you suggest. But do you think it is absolutely wrong and inconceivable that apostates, no matter what kind of apostates they are, should be?
I haven't used the word inconceivable because inconceivable means not possible, right? Sorry, I'm just going to put this on plain mode. It means not possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not making an argument from conceivability.
Wait, hold on.
What I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm making a policy recommendation.
Look at this face that Ridwan is making right now. He's educating him on the meaning of inconceivable, and right now he looks so confused. He's like, "Oh, what is wrong with you, Ridwan? You idiot! You stupid hamar! You're using words you don't even know. Genocide, inconceivable. What's wrong with you, idiot?"
For Muslim majority countries, and I've made that.
It's just a recommendation.
No, it's a recommendation based on the actions of the Prophet.
But that's all it is. So you would still, in the end,
it's based
in the end,
the actions of the Prophet.
Looking at the Islamic dawah scene, for example, the consensus is that the right thing to do is to put public apostates to death. You are, but
I'm not saying that. So therefore,
that is not part of the point. My point is, majority of people, for example, come together and think that the appropriate punishment for apostasy, public apostasy, would be death. So if people now come together and establish such a state, and they said this is the ruling that we should apply. Sorry, Mohammed Hijab, your suggestion is very nice, but we cannot do that because we agree to this. Do you think that is okay?
I've had conversations with policy officials in countries like Malaysia. And I've actually had the chance to influence their spokespeople, and I've given them these kinds of recommendations, because as you know, Brunei is.
Look at his. Oh, whoops! Hold on. Look at Ridwan's face. He's shaking his head because he's mad. He's mad that Mohammed Hijab is giving advice to Malaysia on what he believes is a proper way of going forward. This angers this apostate, murtad, najis, kafir.
Is a country that is nearby, and they look at that as an example, because we're talking about maslaha and mafsada. Really, we're talking about what is in the common interest and what's not in the common interest. And this is something which many people like yourself, and on the other hand as well, Muslims, they don't understand. And I'm trying to educate everyone here that actually Brunei, when they attempted to put a full-fledged hudud laws, what happened to them as a country? They were under attack from all spheres, and they're too small to defend themselves. So how can they be a Muslim country? How can they do as much as they can do within the scope of the international, the waqā, or the international environment, whilst at the same time being faithful to their Islamic position? I'm giving them a very reasonable and practical solution. I'm giving people countries like Brunei. What do you do with countries like Brunei when you have apostates in Brunei? If they're trying to imagine trying to kill a public apostate in Brunei. I mean, just think about that for a second. What do you think America would do? I think they would threaten invasion. I believe that.
Of course.
Right. Yeah. For that reason, I don't think that it's within anybody's interest. And what I'm saying is that the fiqh, look, this is what I want people to understand. Islamic jurisprudence is wide. Okay, it's not black and white. It really is not black and white. I'm a traditionalist. You know that I'm a traditionalist. I'm not scared to tell you the most severe view of everything. But what I'm saying is look, Ibn al-Qayyim was Ibn Taymiyyah's student. I mean, Ibn Taymiyyah was the traditionalist, if you like. I'm a traditionalist. I'm telling you that this is fully in line. I want to confirm that what I'm saying is fully in line. But what I want people to understand, this conversation about apostasy now, I think we've done and dusted with it. If this is your strongest argument,
it is not an argument. This is because,
look, even if
you open the topic.
I've given you the floor. Tell me what's your biggest objection against this?
So
this is presented.
No, this is not what I presented. We came to this topic because they kept asking about ripping up.
All right, so we've solved that now. That's done. So what is your?
It is not done. It is not done. I have to remark something. So your entire, we talked about this for 15-20 minutes, and the entire talk was about how relocating people was a recommendation that is in line with traditionalist Muslim opinion in history.
Is this guy a goddamn moron? Look, anyone here listening to this debate can understand something. Mohammed Hijab is saying in very simple, for anyone here, maybe it's not dumb. Listen, let's break this down very simply. All Mohammed Hijab is saying is that it is not always the recommended Shari'i punishment that someone has to be killed. You do not always have to kill apostates, and there are very clear examples from within the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and from later Islamic governments that they did not always kill the apostates. Right? It's very simple. Why is this moron so goddamn dumb? Wallahi, I don't know why. Who gave him? Wallahi, sometimes I feel like spitting on the guy that even connected his internet connections. Who gave the guy the internet? Like, why? Who thought it would be okay to let this man have internet connection? I don't understand.
But this is just one of the options that you would recommend this because you would consider this beneficial.
But
this is just one of the options.
What's the issue?
Whereas one of the other options is also that I should be put to death, for example.
Well, my argument is this. My argument is that classic. No, please, let's not trivialize these issues. Stop making yourself the victim, because
I am not making myself the victim. I am in no danger, Mohammed Hijab. I am in absolutely no danger. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Let me give you my reassurance.
I'm not scared at all.
I don't think you're a public threat. I don't think you're an intellectual threat. I don't think you're a physical threat. I don't think it makes sense for anybody to try and threaten you physically.
I am in no danger. This is not about me. This is ridiculous. It's not about me.
I'm not saying that we should be killing you. So what I'm saying now, look, at the end,
it's just a recommendation. That's it. So we're done with the topic. It is a recommendation on your part, and that's it.
Trying to get a nice headline for Twitter. That's what it was.
Framework, isn't it? What I'm saying to you now, look, Islam, you have to understand, this is a branch, okay? Hudud and penal laws and so on is a branch of Islam. But really, we have to understand what the foundations are. The foundations of Islam is Tawheed. It's the idea of one God worthy of worship, that we believe that the creator God, right? And the fact that we believe that Prophet is the final messenger.
You can tell Ridwan right now hating this moment. He's hating the fact that Mohammed Hijab is reminding him that there is Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, that Allah, Lordship belongs to him. He hates that. He hates that Mohammed Hijab is reminding him of the ayah, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Right? He hates that. Look at how frustrated Apus is right now. He's burning. He's melting inside. Right when Mohammed Hijab mentioned Tawheed, he's burning. Ibshir al-nar.
Like when you come to that conclusion, okay, then things that you might otherwise feel unworthy or aesthetically unpleasing and so on will start to become more sensical. You see, so you have to start with the roots. So
we can come to that. We can come to that.
You've given me one question, and I've answered.
We can come to that. Just the opening topic here.
We're supposed to start with the root.
This is where
hey.
This is respectful.
No, you have not let me speak at all for not even once.
I haven't said a word for the last 15 minutes. Let you speak.
This is respectful.
For your strongest argument, you have no argument.
Yeah,
we're waiting for it.
Adam Saleh and Slim here argued at the beginning that it is absolutely inconceivable and completely wrong to kill people for their beliefs, and this is completely not Islamic. Whereas I don't know if you can follow. I don't think you have been able to follow 10% of what Mohammed Hijab said. But Mohammed Hijab basically.
question. The question was, what is...
Look how he's trying to pick on Adam Saleh and Slim Al-Bahr. Like he's trying to say, oh, you guys don't really understand what he's saying. Allow me to explain. He's trying to explain on behalf of Mohammed Hijab. What a ghabi. Yani, Mohammed Hijab is sitting right there. Why would you need to explain for Mohammed Hijab what he's telling them? I mean, what is this man? Who does he think that he is? Like, why does he feel he has the authority to talk about Islam and even manipulate somebody's words who's sitting right in front of him? This man has to be absolute. You know what I call this somebody? He's that kind of guy that is socially awkward. Like you'll be having a conversation talking about basketball, and he'll just pop in and start saying, "Oh, you know, I saw a bowling match the other day. It was great." Like, what are you talking about, idiot? Get out of here! Like you're a nuisance. He's completely stupid. Anyway, let's continue.
You've given me one question. I think that's fair.
I've given just told me.
Now, all I
just told me that you always let me speak, and now
you're trying to get a clickbait title of Mohammed Hijab or Adam and Slim. Like, it's just we're talking here. You should have a leave the hate aside. Leave the hate aside.
Look, we're giving you the floor. What we're saying is Islam. Look, you have to understand Islam from the beginning. Islam is a religion.
I will not argue theology with you. I will not argue.
It's not about arguing. We're talking here. It's not an argument.
No, I will not talk about theology here. It is theology. It is basic theology. I made a very clear offer to you. I said,
wait, he doesn't want to talk about theology, but wants to talk about theocracy and penal code within a religion. And theocracy, by the way, which comes from theology, right? Because theocracy means it's theocratic, which is based on religion, which is based on theology, right? So it all is related to theology, dumb Apus, stupid idiot, who doesn't know what words he's using again. I mean, what an idiot. What an absolute moron. Why are we wasting our... Wallahi, Muhammad, Allah yirham. Oh, Wallahi, you know what? Sabr Ayub. Muhammad Hijab has the patience of Ayub. I swear to God. I would be so frustrated with this guy. He is absolutely... I thought, honestly, I never realized that Apostate Prophet was this stupid. I never realized he was this ignorant of the English language and using words that he's incapable of understanding. I don't understand why anyone takes him serious.
If you want to exchange opinions on whether Islam...
My question
is, man, why don't you just let me speak?
You just keep saying this.
Let's talk it. You're right here.
I made you an offer. If you want to talk about whether Islam is the truth or not, then we can unite and talk on a third-party platform.
Where none of us is... What you want to say?
Yeah, let's talk right now.
Then we can talk on a platform where none of us is in charge, where nobody can interrupt each other like this, so that we can freely talk about why you think Islam is the truth and why I don't think Islam is the truth.
So why don't you meet in real life like they offered, right? Mohammed Hijab offered to fly you out to meet in real life. And what did you do? David Wood and you started mocking that idea. You made a live stream mocking Mohammed Hijab instead of taking that debate like a man in an organized fashion, in in-person fashion, which a real debate is. You failed to acknowledge that. Now you're crying foul because now you don't like the conditions where, first of all, and it's funny, now he's saying, I didn't even want to talk to you, right? I don't even want to talk to you. Now he's saying, I'm inviting you to a formal debate where we can do it formally. I mean, make up your mind, Apus.
Well, there's no need to go through all of that. Look,
why not? Why not? That is the fairest, most professional way to have a debate.
Platform. This is a big platform.
You're not wanting to have a debate with me.
Probably one of the biggest Muslim YouTubers out there.
You're refusing to have a fair debate with me
right now. There's no need to go anywhere else. There's no. Seriously, I mean. Well,
this is the fourth time that you are refusing to have a debate with me.
No, I'm
making excuses.
No one's refusing. We're still arguing.
We're waiting for the debate. We're waiting for him, man. Come on,
Come on, man. I made a very clear offer. I will not.
Grandstanding, please. Let's just have a discussion. This is not people.
I am grandstanding because you're acting very scared. I'm sorry. You're scared of the topic.
Look,
I'm scared of the topic.
No,
of course.
I'm scared. It doesn't make Islam false.
No, it doesn't make Islam false. Of course, it doesn't.
I'm scared.
Oh my God! You see, he tried to use the ad hominem, and Mohammed Hijab just put it back on and be like, "So what? Okay, I'm scared," but it doesn't disprove Islam. Oh yeah, it does. The stupid idiot. He's using ad hominem instead of actually. And this is what I've been saying before, ladies and gentlemen. in other video that told you they have resorted to critiquing individual, or making ad hominems rather than critiquing the argument. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is a clear example of that. Let's continue.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I don't think I'm scared. I
think you are. I think you are.
Okay, fine.
I think you're scared.
I don't think I'm scared. It doesn't matter because we're not having a fight.
The scary one hasn't said his argument though. You didn't say your argument.
Engagement.
You're not scared.
It doesn't make Islam false, but that is the entire point. We should be able to come together and properly have a fair debate on whether Islam is the truth or not. It's not about
discussion now. We're having a discussion now. So all I'm saying is, look, I'll be very straightforward with you. There's 4 things I would say about Islam being the truth. I'm not even going to go through maybe 3 things, for the sake of argument. We say number 1, the argument from God. Tawheed, we say that there's only one God worthy. Look, I'll make it. I'll put it to you now.
There will be people watching this stream because I am here who will normally not watch this stream. What is happening here is that by not letting me speak and only you speak, you will clearly make it look like you are making a big point and I cannot make a point.
Look, I'm not
because you do not let me respond. So you cannot trick me into a conversation and then use this as an opportunity to propagate your idea.
So he's claiming. You know what's funny is that he's claiming victimhood again. But yet he has enough time to make a statement that, oh, you're talking so much that everybody else is going to think that I'm losing, even though I'm having the time right now to talk about why I'm losing and why I want other people to think that I'm not really losing. Instead of using that time to make an argument, he's using that time to complain and whine about why he's losing the argument. And you know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is a classic example of whataboutism. He is making an excuse right now. Rather than dealing with the intellectual arguments, rather than dealing with the case itself, rather than issuing a rebuttal to Mohammed Hijab about apostasy, about any of these things he just brought up right now, he's using his actual time to just whine, moan, and complain like a true apus.
Leave the hate out, brother. Leave the hate out at your heart. Take the hate out at your heart.
I deliberately said we should have a fair debate about this.
I want to hear what you guys say.
What I'm saying is this: Islam makes a case for itself. Okay, it makes a case for itself. We say that there's only one God worthy of worship. That all conceptions of God, other than the Islamic ones, if you look at the 6 major world religions, are actually incompatible with logic and incompatible with the predisposition. Number 1. Number 2, we say that look, the Quran itself has falsification challenges. It actually says if you believe that this book is from other than God, then please try and find. You would have found in it many contradictions. So there's
shown many of them.
Challenge there to try and find contradictions in the Quran.
I have falsified the Quran on a very high level.
Do it now. That's fine. The inimitability challenge is to try and produce something like the Quran, which means that it has to go within the scope of. It has to do exactly what the Quran has done, which includes, by the way, telling the future, because the Quran speaks explicitly about future events like chapter 30 verses 1 to 6 and yes, and many other places of the Quran like chapter 24 verses 55 and onwards.
Yes, it is written about that.
Explicitly about future events.
By the way, you notice how Mohammed Hijab let him continue, and every time Mohammed Hijab is making a point, Apus can't help but open his mouth and just interject something, and then and notice Mohammed Hijab never complains and says, "You're not giving me time to talk. You're not giving. I knew this would happen. You see, you're just running your mouth." He never does that, right? Apus is the one interrupting, and he won't complain. What a coward you are, Apus! You truly live up to your name, Apus. You really do. You live up to the name that's been given to you,
and it does so accurately, even according to Western philosophers. Sorry,
fix the scientific mistakes.
Now, what I'm saying to you is, if number 1, you said that you found contradictions in it. So my challenge to you now is to try and find a contradiction.
Do you think the stars? Do you think the stars are missiles thrown at devils, for example?
Well, chapter 67, verses 1 to 5. Where it says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. First of all, it says, if this is your strongest argument, let me answer it.
No, it's not.
Well,
I will not make my.
You see what he's doing? He's trying to make a mockery, and then Mohammed Hijab is saying, if this is your strongest argument, let me destroy it here, right? Then in order to be a defense, he's saying, nope, it's not my strongest one. This is this is disingenuous. He doesn't want to present his strongest case against Islam because he knows that if Mohammed Hijab refutes him clean and open, right, then his whole career is ended. You're finished. You're finished. You're finished.
argument.
I'm throwing rocks at you. I want you to answer this.
Okay,
we're not abiding by rules.
No problem. وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا. So the Quran says in chapter 60, I think verse 3 or 4, 67, sorry.
5, 67, 5, I believe.
Yeah, 67, 5. وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ. We have certainly adorned the heavenly realm with stars. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينَ. And we have made it a pelting thing for the devils. Now, what is, first of all, masabih? So there's a difference of opinion. Some they say it's meteorite, some they say stars. And says, رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينَ. And we have made it as a pelting things for the devils. So it's saying that devils, because if you look at chapter 37 of the Quran and other parts in the very first 5 verses, you'll find that the Sama' dunya, or the heavenly realm, is adorned with stars, has many functionalities of them to try and find your way, as the Quran says, of them so it can go around in orbits, as the Quran says. And by the way, the Quran says in chapter 25 that there are many suns, because it says, تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا.
No, it does not.
Pardon?
What does it say that?
Yeah, it says in chapter 25, تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا سُرُجًا munira. There's two qira'ahs. One qira'ah says sirajan munira and surujan munira. So
what chapter, what verse?
I can't remember the verse here, but this you can just check it. Chapter 25.
That is most definitely untrue.
Well, I've just quoted it in the Arabic, so you can. Why is it most definitely untrue? I've just told you in the Arabic, because I don't know the verse number. Sorry, I don't know the verse numbers. I haven't memorized the verse numbers. I've memorized the Arabic. So
yeah, but by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just so you guys know, this idea of numbers and verse numbers and juz, and this all came later on as a categorization. The Sahaba never said, Surah Baqarah, ayah number 119. This is what it says. No, they would name it, or say for example, Surah Fath. They wouldn't say, Surah Fath. It would be Surah Al-Idha Ja, right? They would know that. So Surah Ahad. They would know how to recite it this way. They would not just, pick out random, letters and numbers and then pick out the verse number. No, it was by memorization. So the fact that he's trying to make it sound like it doesn't exist because Mohammed Hijab doesn't know the ayah number is completely irrelevant. Stupid, idiot, Apus. You have no knowledge of Islam, the history of Islam, the compilation of the Quran. Shut your mouth. You're embarrassing yourself. You're an utter idiot. Wallah hamar.
تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها there's two qira'ahs. One of them is Siraj Munira and there's another one Suraj Munira. The Siraj Munira means a shining lamp, and Suraj Munira means many stars. So a shining lamp means a star, and many suns, one sun and many suns. So in other words, the Quran says that there are many suns. The cosmic picture of the Quran, therefore, is that there are many suns, many solar systems, because suns are accompanied with solar systems, and that they have many functionalities. Of them, there is a metaphysical thing which we can't see, which is that the Quran, that the stars or the celestial spheres, they actually pelt the devils or the jinn, because we believe in the.
Look at by the way, look at Apus. He doesn't even you can tell he's not even listening to the argument. He doesn't want to listen. He just wants to act like, oh, you're lying. He's already put in his mind that Mohammed Hijab is making up a verse. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't want to listen. Now he's probably, I can guarantee he's going to come up and be like, no, that's not what it says. That's not what it says.
This creation called the jinn. We haven't created the jinn and the human beings except that you worship it. So these celestial bodies actually pelt them. How can you falsify that? I don't see the issue. But the cosmological picture is not something which is seen as the cosmological picture of the Quran is not something which I would say is out of line with 21st century understandings.
You have not given me any proof. It is a very big claim to claim that that the Quran actually describes many suns or many stars.
You just said it in chapter 5. You just said it. Don't you check?
Yeah,
you don't give me any proof.
I'll get it now. Oh, sorry, let me just get a few now. But you remember, in the English, they want. There's two.
By the way, hold on. Why? And you notice how Mohammed Hijab never really asked him to reference his evidence, even though Mohammed Hijab could have, because the Quran says, "Qul hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqin." Right? He could have asked him to bring evidence for the fact that he must be killed. or that this is the ijma or consensus of the ulama, or whatever it may be. He never asked for that, right? Because you see what Apus is doing? He says this is not a debate, right? But yet he's asking for formal references in the form of a debate, right? You see how he's playing games here? He won't provide a single reference for what he's talking about, rambling, ranting, just saying, no, I don't believe, I don't think so, I think you're lying. But he won't ever bring his evidence forward. But Muhammad Hijab is prepared to give his evidence in the ayah for him, right? Yeah, wallahi, Muhammad was kind to him. Wallahi, Muhammad showed him mercy. He showed him more mercy. I would never be this kind to a disgusting najis kafir like him. Never. I would not even give him, wallahi, I wouldn't even dignify a response to him. Why? Because he doesn't want to listen. But I think Muhammad Hijab is doing it for a good reason, because he wants to show the other community that he can have a debate as long as you are respectful and you don't become an idiot and start eating, scriptures and just burning things and wearing costumes. We can talk to you. We'll be happy to refute your arguments. We'll be happy to engage in discussion. And we have no problem with that. We don't fear from anything in our religion. We're not embarrassed by anything in our religion, right? That is the reality, But Apus, by the way, just notice he didn't give his example or any dalil for what he was saying. Anyways, let me continue on here.
قراءة تبارك الذي جعل. 1 second. Okay, good. This is verse.
You just said it. I don't know. You gotta look for it.
Verse 61, chapter 25, verse 61. So there's two qira'ahs. There's one qira'ah was glory be to the one who has made in the sky stars, and has made in it many suns. One yani sun. You know a sun? Like the sun and the moon. So made many suns. And the Quran, here's my understanding of the Quran, the cosmology. You can interpret.
This is an outrageous claim. Every tafsir that I'm looking at, and including the modern and old translations, tell us that there are many constellations or stars in the sky, and that there is also a lamp.
Tabari says here, look,
a lamp and an illuminating moon, which refers to the sun and the moon. This is
but
this is a ridiculous.
You notice how Ridwan is interrupting him. He's about to read a Tabari and give the explanation, and Ridwan can't handle it. He's losing his mind. He's losing his cool.
He says it here. Look, I can read
it's burning him.
One. It says,
and here comes that goofy laugh again. You see that goofy laugh? Let's zoom in on that goofy laugh. You see that? He's about to get refuted. Every time, notice it, every time Ridwan is about to get refuted, that goofy laugh comes back up. The laugh of refutation. Right? That is what it is.
This is طبري تفسير بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا اختلف القراء في قراءة ذلك فقراءة عامة قراء المدينة والبصرة وجعل فيها سراجا. So there's one way of saying it, which is سراجا على التوحيد. So that means one sun. That's what Tabari is saying. And the other ones say سروجا وقمرا منيرا, which means many sons. That's what Tabari says. But you can't access Tabari because it's in Arabic, so it's not in English. But the point I'm making is that the cosmological picture.
You see that? But it doesn't say that. Apus, stop, ya hamar. Just stop. End your career. You're killing yourself. This is what Ali Dawah meant when you say go kill yourself. You're killing yourself on camera right now. You're annihilating your honor, your sharaf. You're annihilating yourself. Get out of the way. Just end it now. If I were you, I would end the phone call. Just say you have some internet connection issues. Just say you have some kind of your wife is calling you, your kid needs you. I don't know, there's an earthquake coming. Just end it. Just end it. Why are you still standing here?
In the Quran is one which can be in line with 7th century Arabian unscientific, if you're going to call it unscientific understanding. But it can actually also be, and this is one of the arguments, another argument, it can actually also be in line with 21st century understandings of science. So for example, pardon?
It cannot be. The general understanding of this Quran verse, for example, even according to the tafsir, to the most renowned tafsir, which is Ibn Kathir, and all the translations.
Whoa! What did he just say? What did he just say? What did he just say?
Speaking about constellations, and there is a lamp and an luminous light, which in other parts of the Quran is repeated
in English. This is the problem.
Is repeated numerous times. It refers to the sun and the moon. The lamp
is the sun. That is the luminous moon. There's two ways of reading it. One of them is like that. You're right. No, but there's another way of reading it, which is surujan. So both of them are acceptable, and Tabari says that. So the cosmological once again, the cosmological picture in the Quran.
Wait, by the way, did you catch that? This fool, He says Ibn Kathir is the most prominent, tafsir that you have. No, this is not true. I mean, there are other tafsir that are more in detail than Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir is good in its abridged form that it's easy to access and many people have access to it. But if you want to get into the deepness of the Quran, you're going to need more than just Ibn Kathir. Like no mufassir or no student of the Quran will just only read Ibn Kathir and then say that's it. You know what I mean? Like okay, I'm done. I know everything about the tafsir now or all the understandings. What an idiot, Apus! Stop talking. Wallah, you embarrass yourself every minute you open your mouth about Islam. Ya abata. I mean, what's wrong with you?
And this is one of the arguments for Islam being true. Because let me give you an example, right? You know, the Quran says, يكور الليل على النهار ويكون النهار على الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري لأجل مسمى. Chapter 39 verse 5, where it says that he makes the, he talks about the sun, the moon, and that yukawwir. Yukawwir here means that he rolls the night into the day and he rolls the night into the day into the night. Ibn Hazm, and by the way, the Salaf, because there's a guy called Ibn Munada who's Tabi'i. He says this shows that the earth is round. Okay, this shows that the earth is round because takwir is when you wrap the night and the day around each other. Now, one easy argument I can make is the Quran, according to the Salaf, the early generations, the companions and those who came after them, according to those people, and Ibn Taymiyyah actually has a sanad, which is muttasil ila Ibn Munada, believe that the earth is round. Now, there are some people who say that the earth is flat. There are some scholars who say that, but there are the Salaf. There are some scholars from the early generations who say that the earth is round. Whereas if you look,
there are many among them who say that it is flat. Why are we
doing this selectively? There's two interpretations. Yeah, I agree.
Why are we doing this selectively? So
I agreed with you that.
Okay. Yeah, I do not point out that this is that Muslims all agreed that the earth was flat and that this is what we should therefore agree on.
Here's the argument. The argument is that you're right. There are some Muslim scholars in the past who have said the earth is flat, but there are some who use the Quran to show that the earth is round. Now,
the opposite also used the Quran to say that the earth is flat. The others also used the Quran to say
from the early generations.
Well, there was also the Salaf.
Like who?
I cannot memorize names.
I don't have the evidence. You idiot! Shut up.
But
maybe you're right. But I don't think there's anyone from the Salaf that says that the earth is flat. Okay,
no one did.
Sure. I can look.
He's talking about Sheikh Ibn Baz that mentioned that Koi had an opinion about the earth being flat. And he's taking that opinion of some of those individuals who repeat that. And that is the opinion. It is an interpretation. It doesn't mean the Quran says the earth is flat or says the earth is round. This is the understanding of the verse. It is the interpretation of the meaning of that verse, and it is open to interpretation. That is that is from within the boundaries of Islam. And so, Apus, you're not making a point, dumb idiot, stupid, kafir, najis. You're not making a point. Shut your mouth, idiot.
Look into it.
Because according to Ibn Taymiyyah, actually Ibn Taymiyyah has a fatwa on this in Kitab al-Arsh in his Majmu'at al-Fatawa, and he says in it that there's ijma', there's a consensus among the scholars that the earth is round. And many
good idea, Yusuf.
Ibn Munada says that.
Many you said Ibn Taymiyyah?
Yes, Ibn Taymiyyah.
But he lived in a time where it was pretty clear the earth was round.
Yeah.
I don't think we can.
The Greeks knew that the earth was round. The Greeks knew it. I mean, I'm not trying to make an argument from that. Ibn Taymiyyah was 8th century or whatever, 728 AH. We're talking about the Greeks knew it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, look, if you look at the Bible, the Old Testament corpus, there's never been a patristic scholar, for example, an early church father, who has said the earth is round because of what's written in the Bible. They always refer to the Greeks, like Aristotelian logic. Whereas the commentary, the exegetical commentary in the Quran, allows there to be an interpretation which says that the earth is round, yes, and that comes from the Quran rather than from Greek sources. But the point I'm making is that the Quran is compatible with 7th century understandings of cosmology, but it's also compatible with 21st century understanding. And both of them, you can find exegetical precedent for that. So, for example, when you're looking at many suns, many constellations, that the earth is round, you can find commentaries that go all the way back to the Salaf. You can find the commentaries that talk about the expanding universe all the way back to the Salaf. All of these are afforded from the patristic sources about the Old Testament, for example. So
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. We have many Quran verses. I in fact made a compilation of this. Many Quran verses which on a plain reading indicate that the earth is flat, that the sun travels over the earth, that the moon follows the earth. The Quran even explicitly, literally says that the moon follows the earth.
Sorry, I can keep on.
If you read these on a plain reading, if you read the entire Quran on a plain reading, and you don't have any idea about the universe, about what things actually look like, you would clearly understand that our world is a flat, a plain place, above which there is a ceiling, which crack, which is being held up by things. But it could be very easy, for example, for the Quran to give us revolutionary information and to talk about space, which is not mentioned in the Quran, talk about galaxies, which is not mentioned, talk about different planetary systems, planets, or the universe, for example.
Yeah, I understand.
We found that only within
it actually does.
I understand, but the argument I'm making is not that the Quran says things scientifically which were not known at the time, and so on and so forth. I actually say that there are many things about the Quran that were known before in Greek times and so on. My argument is, my argument is in fact this. My argument is that the Quran is compatible with 7th century understandings of science or cosmology, but it also has the unique multidimensional compatibility with 21st understandings. And that's not despite an eisegesis, it's because of an exegesis. So what I'm saying to you is this, is that if you look at the Bible, for example, there's nothing to indicate that the earth is round in the Bible from the clear verses. You could say, if you wanted to say that the earth is, there are scholars, there were people from the Salaf, from the early generations, way before telescopes were invented in Islam, that said that the earth was round. And they did that despite the cosmological evidences. They used chapters of the Quran, like Ibn Hazm actually used in his Kitab Fisal, he used chapter 39 verse 5 as a reason to suggest that the earth was round. Now that's unique to the Quran, that it has the capacity to align itself cosmologically with a 7th century understanding and with a 21st century understanding. You see, so this is an argument I'm making, that it didn't know things from this, not a Zakir Naik argument. I'm making an argument of the fact that the Quran, the cosmology of the Quran, is a cosmology which is compatible not only with the 7th century, but can be compatible with 21st. I'm not saying that there's no way. Yes, sorry, these people keep calling me. I really don't know why they keep calling me like that. Sorry, But what I'm saying, so you understand the point here. So these are arguments. Prophecies are something else. Like the Prophet Muhammad, we say, he made explicit prophecies about the future. He told us in many hadiths where Islam will spread. He told us Islam will spread to Egypt. He told us Islam will spread to India. He told us Islam will spread to Sindh wal Hind, India and what's now Pakistan. He told us it will spread to your country in Turkey, that the Arabs will fight the Turks. He told us that count 6 things between the hour. One of them is Moti. That Islam is going to enter Jerusalem, which is a place which is the crown jewel of the Roman Empire. Islam predicted the demise of the Roman Empire. Islam predicted the demise of the Persian Empire. Islam predicted the construction of very tall buildings. Islam predicted the advent of sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS and gonorrhea and so on. Islam makes predictions that I would argue, and this is a challenge, that there's no religion on the face of the earth that has been able to make so many challenges about the future, so many predictions about the future, and be so accurate in all of those predictions. So what I'm saying is that if you're
I would strongly contest that. I would like to first off respond to the science point.
Yes,
you are of course arguing that the Quran is not only compatible with its time when it comes to science, but also compatible with modern times, like today when it comes to science. I would definitely disagree with that. And say
not always. I can correct the articulation. I'm not saying that Islam has to be completely congruent with 21st century science, but I'm saying what I said is the cosmology of Islam, or the depicted cosmology in the Quran, is something which can be harmonized with 21st understandings of Islam. Now, there are things, it's conceivable that Islam can sometimes go against science, because science is not an enterprise which is perfect. As you know, it's not an incorrigible enterprise. Sometimes it will change, and we know that. There are many things which change in science. It's called paradigm shift. Thomas Kuhn.
Okay, let me get back to the point then. I would definitely say that the Quran can not be seen as compatible with the modern understanding of science, because there are many examples to that where the Quran, for example, describes that mountains were put into the earth, that Allah made the earth a bed, that Allah is holding up the sky, that Allah sends rain from the sky, that Allah sends thunders from the sky, and so many more.
Why is He sending rain from the sky against?
Yeah, where they're coming from the ground.
That is only the scientific part. You could argue forever. I have made a huge collection.
Yeah, I understand, but can I comment?
No. You moved on to prophecies.
So we get to prophecies, because
you see how he's being disingenuous. He makes a point and says, "Oh, all these things," and then he doesn't want to let Mohammed Hijab comment on the inconsistencies about, for example, Allah sending down the rain from the sky, Allah sending down, the mountains being as placed firmly in the earth. He doesn't want to allow Mohammed Hijab to respond. He just wants to throw these bullets and then just move on. Right? This is what we call a drive-by. A hit and quit. He just wants to drive by and drop you. He doesn't want to have the intellectual argument about them, because he really doesn't know the own argument himself. But Muhammad Hijab was gracious in this and allowed him to, basically let him slide. Again, this is to the credit and the patience of Mohammed Hijab. He should have held him on that and said, no, listen, let's talk about that. You brought it up. You can't just bring these things up and then move the subject, right? And then make it sound like you're actually right. No, we will contest you on this and your understanding of this.
You did mention a few points. I think it's
no,
yeah.
You ended the talk of scientific.
Just on the point on those examples you gave. So you see the example that you gave on, like, for example, Mahd. The Quran refers to, you said, "Alam naj'al al-ard mihada wal jibala awtada." And so on chapter 78, verses 1 to 4. It refers to the earth as a Mahd, which is basically the Arabic word for bed, yeah, a resting place, as a. Now the question is, can the Quran, can it be interpreted? Can someone pluck out verses and make it interpreted to fit a flat earth model? I'm not saying no, but what I'm saying is that we have had early interpretations using the Quran, despite the cosmology, that agree that the earth is round. And in fact, there's more vigor in that direction. So in other words, more people, like, as I've just said to you, Ibn Munada from the Salaf. He's quoted by Ibn Taymiyyah in his Kitab al-Arsh and Majmu'at al-Fatawa. And look at Ibn Hazm. He was 400 years after the Prophet. He was saying, based on chapter 39, verse 5, that the earth is round. So the idea, once again, that the Mahd, that the earth is a Mahd, a bed, is not something really which is understood to indicate the shape of the earth. Because a resting place, a bed, it can be a cradle, can be something which you basically put in any kind of shape. Like, you cradle a baby in this way and so on. And if it was so clear, and this is the point, if it was so clear, someone who's a strict scripturalist, like a traditionalist like Ibn Taymiyyah and the Salaf, they would not be saying that the earth is definitely round.
I don't think that they have any authority over deciding what the Quran actually says, because they lived in a time in which it was the only reasonable thing to agree that the earth is actually round.
No, Ibn Munada from the Prophet, because Ibn Munada is.
When you look at this Quran verse, for example, like chapter 2, verse 22, it is He who made for you the earth a bed and the sky a ceiling. Look at this. I'm talking about the context. I'm not talking about just describing the earth as a bed. You could imply that it could mean something else. He made for you the earth a bed and the sky a ceiling, and sent down from the sky rain and brought forth thereby fruits as provision for you. So do not attribute whatever to Him. It further says in following verses that Allah also put mountains into the earth. So
so
imagine this.
Yeah, so what's the problem?
Rain is not something that comes from the sky. The sky is not something solid. The sky does not exist. The sky is only an appearance, only something that we have that we see.
No, but the sky in the Arabic language. Sorry, can I just correct you on something here? The sky in the Arabic is sama. If you look at Al-Arab in the Arabic language, according to Ibn, so actually all of the Qawamis that I've consulted.
It's a barrier according to the Quran.
Pardon?
It's a barrier according to the Quran.
No, it's not. According, I'll give you the references. According to Lisan al-Arab, which is one of the authoritative Qawamis dictionaries of the Arabs, whenever the word sama is used, it just means that which is above. Okay, that which is above. Now, the verse that you've mentioned, chapter 2, verse 22. هو الذي جعل الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم لا تعلمون. Yeah, this verse, actually, the word firash here, once again, it just means an expanse. And once many people have explained this, the word ard, this is the problem. The word ard has more than one meaning. The word ard, which means here the earth, has the meaning of the earth, the planet Earth, but it also has the meaning of the land. It has that which is below, just like sama is that which is above, ard, which means that which is below. So
you could endlessly explain what this could also mean.
No.
I would like to give the average.
In chapter 39, verse 5.
I would like to give the average Muslim viewer just one thing. Close your eyes. Think about it.
Uncharitable.
Think about a.
What you need to do, though.
Think about a scenario where you do not know what the earth and the universe looks like. Think about it. You are in a place and you don't know what anything looks like. You don't know anything about modern science.
Yeah.
You open this Quran. This is the first thing that you read, and you just read it, and you only read the description of the earth in the book. What will you think? The only conclusion that you can come to is that the earth is a flat bed that has a ceiling on it.
No,
that thought experiment has actually been done. Okay, like I'm telling you again, the thought experiment has actually been done because Ibn Munada is a tabi'i. Okay, which means the Prophet said, "Khayrul qurun qarni thumma alladhina yalunahum thumma alladhina yalunahum." The best generation is my generation, then the ones who follow them, and then the ones who follow them. So there's 3 generations, golden. They call the golden generations. Ibn Munada is actually a part of the golden generation, meaning Ibn Munada is a Salaf. He is part of the golden generation. He is looking at the Quran. He doesn't have a telescope. He doesn't have any of these tools that you're talking about. And he says, according to, we have a sanad that is sahih, a complete sanad which is sahih. He says the earth is round. So it's not fair for you to say this is what's going to happen. I've got the evidence to the contrary. Someone who lived 1,300 years ago, looking at the Quran, because he's looking, do you know what he looks at? The verses that Ibn Hazm mentions, chapter 39, verse 5, because yukawiru comes from the Arabic word kura. Kura means ball. When it says yukawiru layla ala nahar, we call it al-qadam. You know, you guys are Yemeni as well, you know.
Yeah. Football.
So when Ibn Hazm, who is a literalist to the highest degree, he says that the earth is round because it says yukawiru, right? That the earth is round. And this actually was your strongest argument.
Don't make me laugh, guys. I'm watching this.
What we're doing here is that.
Did you put that in one of your videos? Number one, no. According to the Quran.
I made a video on that.
No, but you said that's one reason why you think Islam is wrong because the earth is round.
No, absolutely.
Wow, so you don't.
This is not my number one reason.
So what is your number one reason?
My number one, there are many number one reasons, but what we're doing here is that for 1,000 years, the Muslim world had no idea of the universe, the galaxies, the planetary systems, the sky.
Wrong.
We have gone through many Islamic scholarly ideas, and many ideas that the earth is the center of everything, that the sun goes somewhere at night. Even according to a hadith, Muhammad says that the sun at night, the sun goes to a resting place, and it goes under the throne of Allah and prostrates under the throne of Allah and asks for permission to rise again in the morning. And then it's given permission to rise in the morning, and it comes back and rises. And one day it will not be given permission, so it will go back and rise in the west, which is inconceivable. The sun doesn't go anywhere. The sun is just here at the center of a planet.
So you're talking about
No. I'm talking about this. So the Muslim world and the Muslim scholars had no idea how things look like. We have now recently understood how things actually look, and now we're selectively going back and choosing specific Islamic scholars.
The point here is what I'm giving you is evidence from the early generations. So you can't say
we cannot just take evidence.
What do we do? How do we solve this?
We cannot take.
What do we do?
What did you say? We can't just take evidence. So you have to reject evidence? Like Yani from the early generation, just reject it from the earliest sources. You're claiming that the earliest sources never believed that and they all thought the earth was flat, but it's giving you a one from the Salaf who is from the earliest generation who's telling you that the earth is round. Ya hamar, ya ghabi. Yani what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? He's done.
This is why context is important. We cannot take selective scholars and their opinions at face value as single evidence that would.
He just said, Yahmar, that he's from the Salaf, and the hadith that the people from the Salaf are the best generation, so they're the golden generation. They're the ones who are understanding. They live with the Prophet. They were the ones who witnessed Wahi. They know the Quran. They had understanding. Like, what is this guy even talking about? He's a retard.
You have said, for example, is entirely true. We could take many sources. I have taken many sources, much piece of evidence from early scholars who have argued that the Earth is definitely flat. Who have argued that the Earth is definitely the center of the universe. So
what I'm saying is that look, the Quran says in chapter 3, verse 7, right? منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله. There are some of the book has muhkam verses which are very clear cut and other ones which are ambiguous. Meaning the ones which are slightly ambiguous, which can have more than one interpretation, you can't say this. Like I will say to you, just as I say to some Muslim apologists. Some Muslim apologists say the Quran definitely says X, Y, Z. It says this. It says the expanding universe, Big Bang. I'm saying, look, we can't be so sure to say that the Quran says that for sure. But at the same time, we can't say so sure. Surely the Quran says the earth is flat. I'm saying if you want to have a scholarly opinion, you have to allow for both interpretations to be allowed. What I'm saying is that we have evidence from the early generations that allow this interpretation, and we have evidence from the early generations which allow that interpretation. So those both interpretations are valid. We can't now find something which is something which is narrow, because
I'm just arguing
Islamic agenda. Some people have a pro-Islamic agenda.
No, I agree with that. You think the Quran is that it can be combined with today's scientific knowledge of the world. I disagree.
I'm not saying that. Wait, my point is that it can't be combined. All I'm saying is this: sometimes the Quran will not combine with 20.
I understand. We have different opinions. It is fine. I'm not saying
so long as Islam allows for a multiplicity of interpretations within the scope of exegesis, you can't say this is definitely what it means. Just like I would say to someone on the other side, that the earth.
Hey, just so you guys know what's happening here, what he's trying to do is trying to say that the Quran specifically says this or that. And what he's doing is he's using interpretations of the ayat that some certain scholars may have had past or in the recent past, and trying to ascribe that and limit it only to that. But that is not how the tafsir works of the Quran, right? You can have different opinions based on different understandings, and they can be used, but we can't say for sure that is what it meant unless it has an authentic, a sanad, and there's a difference here. But in general, it is, as long as it is within the framework and we have chains of narration, it can mean different things depending according to who. Different people had different understandings, but it's not binding upon you. Right? That is the issue, right? So again, whether somebody wants to believe the earth is flat or it's round, the Quran doesn't specifically tell you what exactly it is. It lays out the reality, the truth behind it, the facts behind it. And because it is a book that has scientific mentions and not a science book, right? So it will be relevant. It would be completely consistent with any science that is true science, right? That's how we understand it. But Apus doesn't get that. Apus thinks that we're limited to a because one scholar said it, that now somehow we all have to believe it. For example, there are some mention that people believe Dhul Qarnayn was Alexander the Great, but that was the opinion of a certain scholar. We don't accept that, right? Because we know now that Dhul Qarnayn was for sure not Alexander the Great. We know that, right? So it is the opinion that is wrong, but the Quran does not say Dhul Qarnayn is Alexander the Great, right? So anyway, let's continue.
Definitely, sorry, the universe is definitely Big Bang, because it says in chapter 21 verse 30 that they were one piece and then we cleft them asunder.
That is a huge misinterpretation of what.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it means the Big Bang. I'm saying that you can't say for sure that's the Big Bang. In fact, saying for sure it's the Big Bang is problematic, because then there's like 4 interpretations according to At-Tabari, and you're taking one of them and pressing it forward. What I'm saying is that allow the scope, because when the cosmologists tomorrow change their opinion on what the universe constitutes of, then we're going to go back to square one and try and reinterpret the Quran again. Therefore, all I'm saying is that the Quran, by and large, I'm not even saying fully, by and large, is harmonious with 21st cosmological understandings if you accept one of many opinions. I'm not saying that it's definitely in all cases. I'm saying that, yeah, you can interpret the Quran if you like in an unscientific way, you see, in the ways that you have. But what I refuse to accept is that that's the only way to interpret the Quran. And you can't say that it is, because I've given you evidence to the contrary. So now, now the challenge is as follows. The challenge is, as we said, we started off by saying the Quran it claims to be a preserved book, and I'm willing to defend that position. We talked about the prophecies. We talked about the fact that the Quran is multidimensional in its understanding of nature. We talked about the fact that there's no contradiction in the Quran. So the challenge now is for you, as one of the leading anti-Muslim polemics, is to provide contradictions within the Quran, okay, which are very clear and unresolvable from a logical perspective, or otherwise to show that there has been a prophecy that was made by the Prophet of Islam or the Quran that in fact did not materialize. That the Prophet or Islam said this will happen and the opposite thing happened, for example. These are falsifiers. These are things, these have divine, religiously disproving implications. You have to provide evidence, something that shows that this religion is wrong. Right now, all you've shown is
I would definitely appreciate
all you've shown is understanding of the scope of interpretation in Islamic exegesis. And
so we have just agreed that we can have different opinions on these things, because you can interpret things differently. But you have, and I have even accepted that your opinion and your interpretation may be true, but you have directly ruled that my opinion and my interpretation is definitely wrong, and that it is just.
No, I said your interpretation can be true as well in terms of the unscientific stuff.
You just said it was wrong.
No. What I said was, if you want to say that the Earth is flat, you're not going to be a disbeliever in Islam. Because if you say the Earth, if you want to be a flat earthist Muslim, it's not a point of you're a disbeliever. That's my view. But
I think the Quran says the Earth is flat.
Yeah, fine. If you think that, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But you can't say that that's exactly what everyone.
No,
thought.
I don't. I'm not saying that.
The early authority before the cosmological age, before the scientific revolution, before the Copernican revolution, before all of that, all of the positions that we have in science on a cosmological level now can be represented. I'm telling you, can be represented in early Islam.
Okay, that's good. I agree with that. I understand that. That's fantastic.
He agrees, alhamdulillah, but he's still a kafir.
It's fantastic. I find it fantastic that you have agreed that this is also a valid opinion. So
disprove the Quran. So now, what are you going to do now?
No, I would appreciate it if you also referred to me as one of the biggest Islamophobes. I would really appreciate that, because you have recently given the title.
I didn't say Islamophobe. I said leading polemics online.
That's actually very good. I appreciate that. It flatters me very much. But you know what? I actually appreciate this very much, Mohammed Hijab. I think this has been a very fruitful and productive conversation so far, and I think this is fantastic. We could have done. I mean, you have allowed me to give you some information, to give you some knowledge on the Quran, to further your knowledge and your understanding of Islam, and to give you some education on this topic. And I would appreciate.
Is this where he starts, recognizing that Mohammed Hijab is like laying the smackdown? And he's like, I'm in awe of your knowledge. Is this what starts happening here, where he's realized that Mohammed Hijab is not like some kind of child play for him? I don't know.
Appreciated, actually, considering that we are able to have such a conversation, such a back and forth in such a calm and good way, that we could come together and have an actual debate. So, which is what I actually offered to you. What do you think? What do you think about having a debate?
I regard debates as a beautiful thing. I have debates on a weekly basis. I used to go to speaker school all the time. I've had 7 formal debates. Usually, to be honest with you, I've now reserved my debating for someone who is qualified in the subject matter. Unfortunately, you don't meet the criteria, but I did make an exception for you.
Look at his face. Hold on. Look at his face. He is so outraged right now. He's like, oh my God, I'm not qualified. What? How dare you? I'm the apostate prophet. I'm the biggest Islamophobe.
Haven't you told me that you debate me in person?
But it has to be. I don't believe that you're the A side. I believe that we have more to offer you than you have to offer us. We have more.
That's true. 100%. That is true.
Look, at the end of the day, if I wanted to fight Ngannou in UFC, yeah, and I'm saying you're a coward, Ngannou, you're a coward. How is he a coward? Or Stipe Miocic, I want to fight you, the heavyweight champion of UFC. I want to fight. You're a coward if you don't. He's not a coward. He's proven his worth. He's got the UFC.
That's completely different area.
You're coming to me. You're coming to me. I'm the A side. I've got the gold. I've got the qualification.
I personally think you're terrible. You understand that.
I've memorized the Quran. You get it? I've done the thing.
It doesn't matter. I know people who I know people who have memorized the Quran.
I've done what you haven't done. You have to allow me. You have to allow me. And by the way, when I say I memorized the Quran, it's still weak and stuff, and there's still bits I have to recite to the sheikh. So I have to be clear here. But still, having said that, here, what I'm saying is, I have done the training. Do you get it? I've been through 10 years of extensive training.
So I'm offering a debate.
Food and doing your thing and enjoying your time and whatever atheists do, yeah, and watching TV and Netflix. I've had to memorize stuff. I've had to read books. I was in a dark room reading stuff. I've had to read.
I can brag about my knowledge here too.
It's not fair. It's not fair that you're calling me the guy.
How is he gonna brag about his knowledge? He didn't even know who Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi is. How would he brag about his knowledge? Ya Ghabi Ahmar, ya Najis, ya Kafir. What were we talking about? Like, what qualifications, what degree do you have? What alim did you study under? How much of the Quran have you memorized? What are the different riwayat you know? I mean, what is your qualification? Besides saying, I went to a madrasa in some donkey village in Turkey and my parents are religious. Yani, what is your qualification? Everybody does that. Every single Muslim went to some kind of Sunday school or whatever it was. You're not qualified, dude. I mean, what does he have anything to brag about? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anyways, what a waste of our time, wallah.
That has to come to you, groveling. You're the guy that
you're not coming to me. We are doing something modern.
I know, but
so anytime, come to London at any time. We'll pay for your ticket, no problem.
No, we're doing a modern debate.
If you want a debate, a formal debate. I don't like online debates. You get it? I'm a big character. I like on the stage.
Why don't you like online debates?
I don't like it, man, because for me, when it comes to debates, I like to actually get involved with the actions. You get it? I like to body language is a big thing. Right now,
the audience. That is exactly why I don't want to have a personal debate with you, because I want to focus on the knowledge. I want to focus on the knowledge.
Engage the audience. I like to keep it. It's 3 hours. For me, my YouTube channel is a film channel. I don't even know why, but I realize why. It's because I engage people. If I speak in a monotone way and the way we're doing it online, people are engaged. So in a debate like the David Wood debate that I done, that's on 2 million views, and people watch it to the end, man. 3 hours.
This will get 1 million. This will get 1 million views.
Like when I'm on stage with the David Wood, I'm engaging. This is me. I'm putting my soul into it, my passion into it, my body language into it. Like,
if we have a debate, it will have 1 million views.
If I want a debate, I have to put everything.
Look at this hamar, stupid idiot, Apus, anxiety, khara, whatever your name is, dude. You are so obsessed. Like, it's gonna get 1 million views. I'm gonna get 1 million views. 1 million views. Look at me. I talked to Mohammed Hijab. I'm gonna get 1 million views. We don't care about the views, you idiot. No one cares about the views. Mohammed Hijab was making videos. He put the work in before there was any views, before there was millions of subscribers, before there were thousands of subscribers. He was at Speaker's Corner, putting in the work, putting out the idea, defending his point. You're out there chasing views and subscribers, dude. You're out there trying to sell your merchandise. You're out there trying to get Patreon members. Okay, admit it. Mohammed Hijab did all this before there was YouTube was it was making money for him. And look at him, he's sitting there bouncing around like a little idiot. He's like, I'm gonna get a million views off of 1 million views. You stupid idiot. Wallah, insincere.
Into it. Do you get it? So what I'm saying, come down to London. We come down to debate. I'll never back down from any Islamophobe on the face of the earth. Let me tell you this, I'll make it clear. Any Islamophobe challenges me in any way, any Islamophobe, and I'm not gonna retract this. It challenges me in any way, unless I'm physically injured or incapable. Yeah, if they challenge me conversationally, physically in the ring, on the stage, Oqsum Billah, I'm there. I get knocked out, I'm there. If Francis Ngannou tomorrow decided to be,
and you have told me that I shouldn't be trusting you. You told me that I shouldn't trust you. Why should I trust you? Why should I come down to you and say,
I don't care. I feel Allah.
I shouldn't trust you.
I look forward to death. I actually look forward to it. If it wasn't for my mom and my sister, my family and so on, I have to look forward to it.
Didn't you tell me that I shouldn't trust you?
You get it? It's a way out of this testing life. I'd love to be.
Well, this doesn't make it easier.
No, I'm looking forward to death. I don't care about these things. I don't.
Saying that doesn't make it easier.
I don't care about death. You get it? Wallahi, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim, brother.
I don't care either.
I am a Muslim. So I believe in a hereafter. I believe
apostate prophets and like he doesn't care, but like they want to kill me. A Muslim want to kill me. The Muslims are apostate. What would happen to me if I leave Islam? What would happen to me? You're gonna try to kill me. Oh no, the bad Muslims want to kill me. And now he's trying to act tough. Me too. I don't care about dying either. Me too. I don't care about dying. What do you care about dying, you idiot? Like I mean, why would you? I mean, he is such a fool. Wallah, he's such a follower. I'm telling you, if you watch the guy's body language, wallahi, I tell you. Apostate, whatever his name is, anxiety, whatever what do you guys call him? Anxiety. What's the name you guys call him now? Anxiety something. Can you guys put it on? What is the new name for anxiety something, right? He is a follower. He's not a leader. I can guarantee you he's not a man when he walks out that people will follow him. He's the kind of guy that would have to take the lead. That's why he gets excited when he brings on people like David Wood, because they encourage him to be more of what he wants to be, because he's not a leader. He is a follower. Yes, the anxiety prostate, that is his new name, okay? Anxiety prostate will never be a leader. He will always be a follower. Remember that. Mark my words. Let's continue.
Even the day of judgment. I believe in hellfire. I believe in heaven. I actually believe in those things, brother. I believe eternally people are going to live in the hellfire and crackle in there. And I believe that there's some people that are going to be in heaven and they're going to live there.
Snap,
he will live an eternal life without any purpose and nothing. You will live an eternal life doing nothing at all. Purposeless life in eternity. And millions of years on earth was completely empty, for nothing. Everything that we have done on the earth, everything that we have done in history, everything that we have built, all the civilizations, all the knowledge will all be gone. It will be all for nothing. And the only thing there is that we will die and go to heaven and live without purpose forever.
Is he an idiot? Does he think that we Muslims are nihilists, like that we believe that everything is for nothing? Is that what he just really tried to argue? What an idiot. What a stupid idiot, Apus. What an idiot. Anxiety polemic. What an idiot.
And what evidence?
Well, yeah, exactly. What evidence? Look, what I'm you with is evidence. I'm showing you that the book is authoritative. I'm telling you that, look, the Quran.
We should debate that.
Comes from Allah. How do we prove it? We show that, look, the Quran is cosmologically coherent with the 7th century and with the 21st century. We're saying it has no contradiction.
Wait, before we move in, guys, is this where he gets into the utilitarian debate? Has anyone seen this before? Because I think, unfortunately, we've done a 2-hour live stream so far today. And I think I'm going to do the rest of it. If this is the part 2 of it, we can do the rest of it tomorrow, if you guys are okay with that. Because unfortunately, it's about midnight here. So is this where we should stop, or should I continue further for those of you that have seen it? Is there a better place to stop and re-pick up later on? Thank you, Aziz. Let's give a shout out to Yusuf Ponders. Let's check out that YouTube channel. For those of you that have seen that, okay, Sam said he needs more. Okay, all right. Okay, we can finish it tomorrow. Yeah, it's 1 a.m., guys. So you know what? We are in America, brothers and sisters. I know some of our brothers are out in the UK, and you guys are in a different part of the world. And I love you guys for your support. But unfortunately, us small-time guys in the States, we got to head to bed and we got to do things. So let's do this tomorrow around the same time when I have time, because I got to do a podcast with the Mad Mamluks tomorrow. It's going to be our 200th episode, so I have to go out and I have to do that episode. So after the podcast tomorrow, I want to stay maybe around like 10, 11-ish Central Standard Time. I will probably do part 2 of this video. And just so everybody remembers, we started off at 1 hour and 30 minutes. That's where we left off, okay? So inshallah, we will continue this tomorrow. I appreciate everybody that came out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. If you guys like the content, hit the bell so you're notified every time I go live. And consider being a Patreon member if you want to. I mean, hey, if not, your dua is enough for me. And that's all I need. I love you. I love the company. I love doing this for you guys. So let's keep it rocking. And listen, make sure you guys support all the other smaller channels. All right, this is how we'll win the argument, right? All those channels that are smaller than me, bigger than me, whoever it is, this is how we're making this content so we can push out this narrative to push back on these murtadeen that are just trying to take advantage of the fact that even non-Muslims like Hindus and Christians are going to re-upload these videos, right? So let's take advantage of using this platform to further our message, inshallah. Anyways, it was a pleasure. I enjoyed it. You guys made my evening. I am excited to finish part 2 of this tomorrow. I hope you guys will be here, inshallah, to join me. Until then, we'll talk about it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, guys. We're out.